The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The Jets got better this weekend. Now they need to win some games. We're going to be breaking down the full 2026 draft class. Will Parkinson will join me. It's the Jake Asman Show, the first show post-Jets draft, and it starts right now.
We sitting here, we excited as hell.
Now it's time to get to work. Are you a happy guy?
Oh my goodness, let's go!
I haven't felt joy talking about the Jets in a long time. When they announced it, I went, yeah! Let's go! A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Mougey are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now. Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you to everyone who tuned in to our draft coverage all weekend long, whether you tuned in when we were in Pittsburgh or you tuned in for our live reaction podcast all throughout the weekend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. A huge growth in the channel's subscriber base, so thank you to all the Asmaniacs who have been here since the beginning and are a part of the ride. We are presented by PrizePicks. Of course, a lot to talk about with the New York Jets, and we say hello right now to the host of the Turn on the Jets podcast, live from his car on Long Island. It's our friend Will Parkinson. Will, I think the Jets had an outstanding weekend. How do you feel about where we sit following the 2026 draft in the books?
Yeah, I mean, I feel good. I know, obviously, I'm usually pretty positive, but I felt like the weekend generally got better as it went on as well. I thought Thursday night progressed really well, where I thought they should have taken Reese, but it wasn't like I mocked them Bailey for a consistent month before the combine, so in free agency. So still really like the pick there. And I think me and Dan, who does Buck the Trend on our channel, broke it down, in depth of how the Steelers and, used guys that were maybe not as good against the run, how they balanced their defense to be able to utilize guys like Highsmith and TJ Watt and these different players. And how Bailey and McDonald could be on the field at the same time and different things like that. So the Bailey pick, look, man, 14 and a half sacks last year. He's a really good player. He's a top 5 prospect on pretty much everybody's board that I respect. So, and I think he was easily a top 5 or 7 player in the class. So you feel really good about, you still feel good about Bailey. The Sadiq pick was awesome. At the time, I deflated a little bit. They didn't take Lemon, who I really loved as a player. Yeah, and then you sit there and you go, I actually really like this. Like, this is a really unique way, and the Jets just don't do this often enough and get ahead of like, we always talk about the joke of, where football is going, Jake. We always make those jokes, and then they don't really actually do it. They're usually late, right? Like the Wilkes scheme was probably 5 years late, or, these different moves they make when they signed Le'Veon Bell, it was like running backs were becoming less valuable, and then they paid a running back, or these from Gase, obviously. This truly felt like a move tight end that can play inline, that can play power slot, can play fullback, can do all these different things, run sub 4.4, amazing kid, like tier 1 character, dude. Like, he is legitimately awesome. I comped him to steroid Evan Ingram, and I like not actually on steroids, but like obviously Sadiq looks like if you told me he was on HGH, I'd be like, yeah, I get it. That dude is chiseled. But yeah, man, like I really like the Sadiq pick. It's awesome. And I was like, hey, I talked to somebody on Tuesday before the draft, and they were like, what if the Jets go Sadiq and then pass catcher? Or would you rather them go pass catcher defense? Basically, like, would you go receiver 16, 33 defense, or would you rather Sadiq and a receiver? And I was like, I didn't even think of it that way. I guess I would rather Sadiq and a receiver, and I kind of just like forgot about it. And then they take Sadiq, and I'm like, all right, if they take a receiver next, you love the pick, right? Because that's you're feeling 2 pass catchers, dude. I know, you're gonna you put together a pretty cool thing. I'm sure you're gonna want to flash in a second, but man, they get then Cooper for pick 179, no brainer. Now this offense has legitimate weapons at outside receiver, at slot, at tight end. They have multiple guys. They have multiple backs. The offensive line feels like it's at worst just a good group. It has potential to be really good. If Avaldu and Tittman take one more step, I feel like this could be a really, really good group. Gino just has to be like average, and they should be able to be a competent offense that every week we're like, you know what, this team could put up 30 points if guys get hot. They're not going to be like failing to complete a pass and stuff of that nature. So first day, it felt really good. I knew they loved Pons. Every time I was on your show, I talked about that guy for hours. And to pick up the fourth rounder, and again, we'll get to the fourth round pick they made, but to trade back, still get D'Angelo Pons, who for many teams was a top 2 corner in this class. Like, he is a dog, man. And this fan base loved DJ Reed. This is DJ Reed running a 4-3 and with way more heart and tackling and not the other stuff that came with DJ Reed at the end. This is like, they got the Mopes out of the building, dude. I don't know. I felt really good about these first 4 picks. I left day 2 going, they have positive value on consensus, the consensus board, which I know people hate talking about, but the Jaguars were minus 700 on consensus. Okay. That's really bad. The Jets were plus value, which is good. Last year, the Arian Smith pick, the reason everyone got pissed, and Darren and these guys was like, they weren't on anyone's board except the Jets, and it's like, why are you doing that? Pons was a top 40 player in the class. Cooper was a top 25 player. Sadiq was a top 15 player. Bailey was a top 5 player. They left with all 4 of them and accumulated an asset. Jackson's a good player. I wanted Grayson Halton because I thought he had more pass rush juice, but Jackson, to go in a room with Harrison, he needs to clean up some technique stuff, but hey, man, he's going to go in a room with Devondre Sweat, who needs to kind of have somebody else around him too. Harrison Phillips, Briggs, and Onyemata are a really good group for these guys to walk into. That's a huge strength of this team. Defensive tackle now, especially against the run, man. You feel like that run defense should be cleaned up. That's a big mother effort. Like, that dude is huge. Pick 110 is the one that I hated. I hope Klubnik's a good backup here. That'd be a really awesome pick, man. We've talked about that for years on your show of just like, can they ever find a homegrown backup that can be a quality player? I don't love Klubnik. I would have taken him maybe in the 6th round or the 7th round because the Jets had all those 7th round picks. I felt like that's maybe the range he would have gone in. Frank Reich's really close with Nick Foles. And where did Clay Klubnik go to high school? The same high school as Nick Foles. And it's like, 2 years ago, if you want to tell me Klubnik, if the Jets QB room, Jake, entering 2025 was Gino and Cade Klubnik, you'd be like, holy crap, like they figured it out. And obviously both guys had bad 2025s, and so now we'll see what happens. I just didn't love the trade up. I just thought it was like unnecessary. The quarterback run was 100 picks later. That said, they rebounded really well. Cooper in round 6, great value. That's a 4th round player. No idea why he got to round 6. And then VJ Payne might be the most fun pick of day 3. Payne's, like I said, he's 4 James ahead of Bo. Like, that dude hits, man, and the call with his mom was really cool and the whole thing. So I don't know. I'd give the class an A-. I think I would have given it a full A if they hadn't traded up for Klubnik and just taken him and added a linebacker or another offensive lineman. But generally, dude, this is a really, really good class. Speed, size, positions of need, I feel pretty good.
I think if you're a Jet fan, what we saw was the class kind of come together after night 1 as far as the feeling in the fan base once they made the trade back in to get Omar Cooper Jr. Because the feeling was once they passed on a receiver at 16, oh no, are we going to have to wait till day 2 to find an outside pass catcher? And the Jets' history, fair or not, in the 2nd round and beyond at that position is abysmal. So just getting Cooper at 30 instead of 33, let's say, it makes you feel a lot better because you don't have the Denzel Mims, Elijah Moore, Stephen Hill, Devin Smith curse. So that's like the fan in me talking. But just getting Cooper and Sadiq, now I'm really excited about the Sadiq pick because there's less pressure on him to have to be amazing right away because you have Cooper. And you mentioned, a graphic I put together. I think if you just look at the Jets offense now, and obviously it's going to come down to, what Geno Smith has left and all that. But if you remove Jets from the helmet and just look at the players they have.
Put Ravens over Jets and see what people say about this offense.
There's some competency here, man. The O-line was already very good. It has a chance to be even better this year. I think you look at the pass catchers.
Shouldn't it be better because they have a real quarterback and actual threats so defenses can't just tee off and blitz 9 guys, right? Like they should just be better by process of eliminating Justin Fields and Brady Cook.
And no matter how you feel about Frank Reich, I think he's going to be an upgrade over the offensive coaching we saw last year. So, look, on paper, this team has some real competency. I think the biggest thing the Jets have accomplished now, they have given Aaron Glenn an opportunity to prove whether or not he belongs as the Jet head coach beyond just the 2026 season. Like, no one's expecting the Jets to go out there and win 10 games, but you need to be a professional football team out there on Sundays. You need to get off to a decent start. You can't start 1-7 and win a couple games late and finish with 6 wins and expect to keep your job. Like, they have now done enough in the moves in free agency, the moves they made in the trade market, and obviously this draft class. They've done enough, Will, where the expectation should be you're a representable football team, and then the head coach can now be properly evaluated before you go into next offseason with the most cap space in the league and 3 first-round picks in a loaded draft class.
Yeah, like I thought about this, and I think I said this on your show, and maybe I said it on mine. I mean, I don't know. I've done so many podcasts and streams this weekend. I don't know what's left from right. But if you told me before free agency, Jake, I said, hey, I think they're a 3 to 5 win team, right? Based on, varied outcomes. And just for people in the chat, like, I'm talking, if every best case scenario, worst case scenario, it feels like they're a 3 to 5 win team. That's what they felt like. I don't know if you felt the same. I felt like there was just so many holes in this roster. They obviously still lost some guys. Felt like post free agency, they were 5 to 8 wins, right? So 5 wins, they probably would have been a Vegas 5.5 at that point, post free agency, but trending more towards six wins probably. Best case, was really good, and they got to 8 wins. That's what I felt like entering the draft. Again, they went from 3 to 5 to 5 to 8. I feel like they've gone to like 6 to 9 now. And obviously there'll be some jokes in the chat, but like generally speaking, right? I think their win over under probably, I would say now should be around 6.5. So I feel like you representatively want to see them win probably about 7 games or more, which maybe is an unfair expectation because there is so many young players here. But I also would say, Jake, like, if some of these rookies have a 2022 type impact where like this group is good right away, why can't they be a team that's 7-7 in week 16? Like, why can't they be that kind of a team where, hey, Gino's having a representative year. He's not amazing. He's not bad. Glenn gets 20% better, which I think is I don't think anyone's expecting him to be 100% better. I think 20% is a fair number where like, hey, he had some nice moments last year before they totally blew it up at the end of the year. There's that kind of stretch where Glenn looked like a competent head coach. He was like making the right calls on 4th downs and challenges and stuff. Can he follow that, continue to follow that? And I want him to just be really aggressive, frankly. Like, coach, like, you got nothing to lose this year, and go for it more on 4th downs, be aggressive. And, with a quarterback, like, it's a veteran, can he be a coach that, it's 4th and 4 on the opposing team's 48-yard line? Hell yeah, we're going for it, man. We're just going to go, as opposed to with Fields, it felt like they kind of got conservative. They went in the Saleh kind of turtle shell where like, just don't hurt us type of thing. Can Omar Cooper be a legitimate representative number 2 receiver? A.D. Mitchell's now properly slotted as a 3. Mason Taylor's your 1B tight end. You feel pretty good about that, man. Like, I'd love maybe another addition in the veteran market. Can they go get? I know Bobby Okereke isn't the same player he was 2 years ago, but I don't think it'd hurt to go bring in Bobby O with to give Sherwood some competition. Can you go sign? Maybe it's Tyrod, but go sign one more quarterback just to. I'd feel a little bit better about not having to make. I'd rather Cade Klubnik not play next year and like just be a guy that's like just soaking up information, learning the NFL game.
That's not going to happen, but I like the thought.
He'll be starting at least 4 games.
That's why we react. That's why we react the way we do to any quarterback pick, because we've seen this in Jet history. No matter who they take, somehow they end up playing. Brady Cook started games this past year, for crying out loud. Like, it just doesn't matter. But I'm with you, man. I mean. I don't even think it's like the in-game stuff with Aaron Glenn. I think it's like the Monday to Saturday preparation for this head coach. I think it's, hey, does he have this team ready to go? Can they get off to good starts in games? Is there strategy being implemented? Like, I don't think it's the rah-rah, that type of stuff. I think
Jim, can I pose a question to you, since I know you're the host, but I kind of pose a question to you. What percent, and I can't really see the chat today, which is probably a good thing because my Twitter mentions today are saying that I called Garrett Wilson not a receiver 1. Never happened. So whatever. Long story short, let me ask you of the guys they added. Glenn and Mougey clearly went after the Indiana guys on purpose. And I love that because Cignetti's the best coach in all of sport at any level this year. And it's he talked a little bit about it. I don't know why they didn't go more in depth on this, but I felt like they went after Indiana guys, especially a guy like Pons, right? Comes from JMU, goes to Indiana. It's a terrible program. They rebuild it in 2 years. And really not 2 years. They rebuilt it in like a month. And then they've lost 2 games in the course of 2 years. And they obviously went 16-0 last year with 3 stars, 2 stars, underutilized guys. How much do you think getting the mope out of the building, because they've gotten, outside of 2 guys that come to mind, the mope's gone, like entirely gone. How much do you think that, what percentage do you think that improves this roster alone on just bringing in the characters like Pons, Cooper, even a Bailey, Sadiq, all guys who've been a part of amazing programs? Even look at, VJ Payne, guys like that are like, there's not like this quitting mentality now. It feels like they have the opposite where they just have like a bunch of dogs. Like, what percent do you think that impacts that Monday through Saturday you were talking about?
Well, I think it definitely doesn't hurt. I think it helps. I still think, though, the biggest thing for the Jets, and in terms of this head coach, they need to start 2-2, 3-3, get a division win early. If you're playing Robert Saleh and the Titans, right? If you're playing the Titans week 1, can you win week 1? Like, that's going to matter here, because I really think, as crazy as it sounds, losing that first game to Rodgers and the Steelers kind of set the stage. Yeah, it started the snowball. So I think Glenn is talking about how he had all this self-reflection and he's learned a lot, and everything they've done this offseason has been intentional and collaborative. And clearly Darren Mougey in the front office is way more involved in the personnel decisions than they were a year ago. That's obvious. You could just see Mougey's way more comfortable up there. But it's not going to matter if they don't get off to a good start. So I think all this helps. But now it's on the head coach, who has got to show that he actually knows what he's doing here, because they've added enough talent where you could properly evaluate him.
Yeah, I think, again, like, I'd love to see. I'm really curious, and I think, how do they operate the next month or 2 months? I guess through June. Let's say do July 4th, right? Let's because there's the month. Obviously, we're June 1st. They were really active last year. I felt like with the trade market during camp, some veteran signings. I'm curious what'll happen like over the next 6 weeks here, because it feels like, Jake, since the kind of mess that was the defensive coordinator search. That was a mess, obviously. We all know. I think most of us feel like they came to the right decision. It was just getting there was weird and discombobulated, and it felt like too many different things were happening. Since that happened, I would say they've been pretty formulated in a plan. It feels like they've had a grip on what's going on. I felt like their veteran moves were solid. I don't think they went out and overpaid for guys. I feel like they had some shrewd, signings and stuff, and I feel like they were intentional about what they did. It feels like they were intentional with this draft, generally speaking. They read the board well. Again, outside of Klubnik, every other pick versus consensus was a positive pick, which, again, just did not happen last year. Like, they did not have, even on day 3, like, they weren't getting Cooper and Payne in round 6 and 7. They were getting Kiko, Maui, and Tyler Barron, And again, maybe these guys won't be good either, but at least they made more sense. They were, it felt like...
And a good process for day 3 minus Klubnik.
Yeah, I feel like my whole point is, like, it feels like Mougey and Glenn are kind of very much like have found their stride a little bit in terms of just like these moves make sense. It doesn't feel like they're just clicking buttons. And that's what it kind of felt like last year, where it was just like, oh, we'll do this, but we're not going to spend money. But then we signed Brandon Stevens, but then we're not going to spend money again. So we're going to ignore a receiver. And like, then we're going to ignore this position and we're going to hope it falls to us in the draft. This felt like the total opposite. This has felt like, we know we need receiver. We think it's better to go get receivers and pass catchers in the draft because the veteran market's not right for us. We're not in that window. We're not going to go chase AJ Brown. We'd rather, draft and develop guys and pay the guys that have been developed. And like, that's what the really good organizations do. And if the Jets can put a representative season together, you're going to 2027 with, as you mentioned, 3 first-round picks and a second-round pick. You're going in with $228 million in cap space, all this dead money falling off, which is amazing. You're probably hopefully you have guys in your roster who say, hey, we have 5 blue chip players. We think our tackles are blue chip people, or at least one of the tackles is going to be a blue chip guy. We think at this, Bailey has, even if he has 6.5 sacks, but is like, the Abdul Carter, like he had 50, 60 pressures where you feel really good about it, where it's like, hey, he maybe doesn't have the big style. And Verse too, where it's like, I think Verse was 4.5 sacks, be like 80 pressures his rookie year. And it's like, dude, we feel good about, you want to just feel good about this roster, man. And Jake, I'll say this, and I don't know if people agree. One of the biggest frustrations in the Saleh era was outside of Sauce, they really slow rolled every young player to the point where it was really frustrating, where it was like, just let these guys play, man. Like, I want Cooper to play a lot of snaps week 1. If he's, again, if he earns the reps in camp, but like, I want David Bailey playing. And if David Bailey gets run over in the run game week 1, who cares? I want to have him learn and be on the job and like get these guys reps and hopefully like they can kind of win early on. Maybe you get a, again, to your point, you start 2-2 and a lot of the young guys are the, contributing factor. You're like, hey, like this is starting to feel like a normal organization making normal decisions, grown-up decisions. Like that's, again, I don't want to be overly optimistic. Like, hey, they're going to be a playoff team. Like I don't think we're there yet. I think we're to the point where like they shouldn't be the laughing stock of the league and people talking about turnovers and sacks and not completing a pass. It should be like every week you're going in saying, okay, if this and this happened this week, they should be able to win a football game or be in it in the last possession in the fourth quarter, like most NFL teams are.
Well, that's the bare minimum they have to do, because the roster again is good enough, and that's where the general manager has done a decent job, making it clear that he's got a real plan. And the consensus around the league is that the Jets had a very good draft. So I certainly agree with you. We're talking with Will Parkinson, host of the Turn on the Jets podcast, part of the Badlands network of shows. On our show today, we're going to raffle away a signed Wayne Chrebet jersey. I have it in my hand right here. Chrebet jersey up for grabs. And this is the last show before our mega raffle tomorrow on our Monday afternoon show. Ladies and gentlemen, I am raffling away 5 items this week in honor of draft weekend, and every membership is double for the last time here on draft weekend. Joe Namath, Nick Mangold, Revis, all signed helmets, plus a signed Garrett Wilson helmet and a signed Mason Taylor helmet. So those are the raffle prizes that are up for grabs on our show. I want to shout out Rick out in Amsterdam for becoming an Asmaniac channel member. He is in the raffle for 2. Rick, thank you very much for your support. Like button if you're just joining us. Will Parkinson is with us here as we talk all things Jets draft. In terms of Klubnik, I don't think they made a mistake taking any of these day 3 quarterbacks. I felt like you have to have conviction on one. Clearly, they liked Klubnik.
Yeah.
The criticism I have, Will, just take them at 103 and keep your 2 fourth-round picks.
Yep.
Just take them when you were going to pick again later on in the round at 128, because I think he would have been there. Now, maybe the Jets have this intel that he was not going to be there. I'm not sure I buy that, just given how the rest of the draft ended up playing out. But I don't have an issue with Cade Klubnik 2 years ago. We all know he was part of this great quarterback class that was supposed to be part of the 2026 draft class. Yep. It didn't work out. So I don't mind selecting him. I don't think he's going to be very good, but I hope I'm wrong. But I think ultimately the only criticism I have is that they traded a 4th to go up and get him. That felt unnecessary. Your thoughts just on that process, and specifically now, what Cade Klubnik can maybe be in this Jet offense?
Yeah, look, I think he checks all the Parcells, Frank Reich boxes, right? Like they all make sense. Started a ton of games. He's been productive at points by all accounts. Obviously, really smart kid and the whole thing. Jake, I literally just think that my issue is that all the quarterback run went 80 picks later. And it was like, you could have just taken him at 103 if you loved him, or 128 or 140. You might have been able to take him at, they ended up at 199. Like he might have still been there. So it just was annoying. I guess the 2 things that annoyed me were, one, I felt like the Jets just took him. And I felt like this way about Beck and out, like the Beck pick. Like, who was sprinting up to take Carson Beck in the first pick of the 3rd round? Like, he's a terrible prospect. And I just don't. Klubnik was good 2 years ago. He was bad last year. You hope he's very much like the guy he was 2 years ago and can develop, and maybe he's a spot starter long term. Maybe the Jets strike gold for once, or maybe he's Bryce Petty. Like, I don't know. I don't think any of us will know. I hope he gets a lot of reps during camp and they continue to try to develop him, and Reich can make him a suitable NFL player. It just felt like the 2 picks the Jets moved off of, like Kamari Ramsey and Connor Lew went. And it was like they really could have used Connor Lew as a center / guard and Kamari Ramsey at safety. Now they ended up getting a guard and safety later on. And like, I hate when people do this, but if you want to do the whole like, hey, if they just took Cooper at 110 and VJ Payne at 128, and they took Klubnik in the 7th round, everyone would love it. And it's like, yeah, they would, but that's not what happened, right? And like, same thing. If they took Sadiq at 30 and Cooper at 16, everyone would be happy. Like, I don't like operating in that, because that doesn't matter when they took them. They still took them. I wish they just didn't give up the extra asset. That's all. That's my issue. It's not that I'm bashing the kid and think he's some like asshole or like the Jets are idiots. It's not about that. It's just I didn't think it was necessary. Maybe we're wrong, and maybe there was some team trading up. I have a hard time believing that someone was going to take Klubnik and then no one took another quarterback for 80 picks. That doesn't really track. But yeah, man, like if they love him and you had conviction, I said this on your show about Ty a million times. Like if you had conviction on the quarterback, then take him. Hope he works out. He can do some things really well. I don't love the fact that he started to feel pressure this year, and like it felt like kind of Zach Wilson did a little bit. But maybe they can get that out of his game and, hey, get an NFL offense. Clemson was just an unmitigated disaster last year. So look, it's a fine pick. I just didn't like the trade up or where they took him, but it's fine. It's whatever. Like the other 7 picks I really, really like. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like if they're gonna have if they hit on 6 of these 8 picks, dude, and they hit on 4 or 5 starters and then 1 or 2 role players, like it's an unbelievable draft class for them.
Hit the like button if you're just joining us. Will Parkinson is with us here. Cade Klubnik is a Jet. I'm going to root for him. I think he's a guy that is excited to be a Jet. I loved hearing him tell Frank Reich to send him the playbook right away. I am surprised that Klubnik ended up being their guy. My theory, Will, is that they wanted Drew Aller. And I think when you heard Darren Mougey say that they tried to get back into the 3rd round.
They did try to trade up. I didn't tweet that for no reason. They were trying to move up.
So I think it was for Aller because they ended up moving up for a different quarterback. And I think once Aller got picked by Pittsburgh, maybe Pittsburgh did the Jets a favor, and that kind of ended the Aller to the Jets conversation. But that's just my theory here, that Aller was their guy. They did an extensive amount of work with him. They brought him into the facility for a workout. And once Pittsburgh took him, and Beck obviously went so early on in the 3rd round, he was no longer in the conversation. I think if you just kind of stack their board, it was Mendoza, Simpson, Beck, Aller, and then Klubnik was their 4th quarterback in their power rankings.
Yeah, I saw there was a tweet floating and whatever. I'm not going to be. I don't think that's accurate. Actually, I've asked a lot of people in the building, and that tweet is not accurate. About that they only traded back because like they wanted Rodriguez. They liked Jacob Rodriguez. I know that, but they loved D'Angelo Ponce. They were thrilled that like they were able to move back a little bit and read the board properly that he would still be there. And they were. I don't think they were stockpiling assets to move up for Nussmeier, clearly. I think they were also like, we trade up yesterday and we don't have any 6th-round picks or 5th-rounders. We need to accumulate more assets. And it was a worthwhile trade. Like, ended up that they got Pons, and if they wanted Klubnik, they ended up with Klubnik and Pons, right? You know, like it is what it is at some point. It's the decision they made. And like I said, I like every other pick, and I'll root for Klubnik, and I hope he does really well and proves a lot of people wrong. I just didn't love the trade up value. But you know, they got at least, Jake, I guess I'll give them credit on the trade up. Technically, they were even on the Rich Hill chart. Like the value of whatever it was at 110 and 199 for 128 and 140 was the accurate, like was the proper value. It just, again, it felt like unnecessarily aggressive in that sense, but they were really aggressive on night 1, and that was amazing. So you give them credit.
I think overall, you have to be really excited and encouraged by the Jets process and some of the things they learned from. If you have a question for Will Parkinson, write it in. We're talking all things New York Jets, plus a signed Wayne Corbett jersey is our raffle prize today. Rick out in Amsterdam Jet, Rick Hayen just gifted 10 channel memberships. Hit it, Woody.
Happy guy.
Oh my goodness, let's go!
Oh, we're all happy around here. Jet Magic is in the air. Rick gifting 10. If you hear your name, you are now a channel member. Jersey for Hawks. Curvin Leisure. J-Soul. Build the statue for Mougey. I Beat It. Doggle 1911. Herb 96G. Arodimus. Mr. Bigskins. Jet Set Full. And Jersey Jet all receiving a membership. Everything is double for the remainder of the weekend, a.k.a. our final show, and then we will raffle away 5 signed Jet items on my shows tomorrow. This super chat is from Kashmir, who says, it's not always about the top prospects. It's about drafting players that fit your offense or defensive scheme. I think Bailey, Sadiq, and Cooper fit. I mean, they're all incredible athletes. They're all really good players, and now it's on this coaching staff to have a real plan for all of them. One thing you said before, Will, about David Bailey, Will McDonald played 16 or 17% of the snaps as a rookie. And I know Bailey is considered a way better prospect, but we need to see David Bailey play 60% of the snaps immediately as a rookie. You cannot sell me on taking him 2nd overall and say, well, we know he's not good against a run, so we're not going to use him that way. No, David Bailey needs to go out there and he needs to play early and he needs to play often. It can't be what happened with Will McDonald in his first year. Will's connection drop. We'll get him back in a moment. Ace of Spade writes in, why not get a veteran wide receiver in free agency to mentor? Well, maybe they still will add another receiver. I don't think that's out of the question. I'd be a little surprised if it's, a big notable name, but I could definitely see them adding a receiver. Will's back with us. Will, my point on Bailey is this. He needs to play at least 60, 65% of the snaps immediately as a rookie. It can't be what Will McDonald was. Oh, he's not good against the run. He's only going to end up playing 15 to 16% of the snaps. Give me your thoughts on how Bailey's implemented immediately.
Yeah, I would say. Can you hear me all right again still?
This is like a slight echo. I don't know. Maybe your AirPods are not connected. We'll get it figured out here.
Are you a happy guy?
Oh my goodness, let's go!
Yeah, we're all happy around here. Let's see. Will, testing.
How about now?
Yes.
Testing. Hell yeah. I think no. Look, dude, that's my biggest thing. So Glenn in the past, if you notice his defenses, he's kind of the anti-Sala, where like rotations is not really as big of a thing. Like Hutchinson was playing 89% of snaps 2 years ago. Like it's they play their guys, like their best guys play. I think they'll probably rotate more now, but dude, early downs, like again, I hope Bailey plays a lot. I think you hope he's a 60, like you said, 60% of the snaps guy. Can McDonald be, can Will? I almost am more comfortable with Bailey as a every down player and Will as your Bryce Huff DPR, or kind of what McDonald was 2 years ago, where like he would come on the field. Obviously, maybe even if he's a 45% snap guy, but like you're getting like really good McDonald snaps, that'd be excellent as well. I keep his body fresh. You want him to be a pass rusher. No one cares if Will McDonald can stop the run anymore. It's not his thing. It's never going to be his thing. You want to see him be a 10-sack guy. So Unique Bari is one of the best run defenders in the league. Osai is a really good player, can play inside and outside. I think Bailey can be an every down player for them. I don't see why he can't, man. Like he was an every down player at Tech. In Stanford, his Stanford tape, he was not an every down player. That was a problem. But he was last year, and they were one of the best defense. They were a top 3 defense in the country. So, yeah, I'd like to see him used, in a lot of different scenarios. I'd like to see them stand him up. I'd like to see them play some 5 down front, some 4 down front. Glenn talked about how multiple they want to be. Part of the appeal of Reese was they can be even more multiple. But what if Bailey's just a better player? What if we end up just sitting back here and saying, like, the Jets got, they got a better player? I don't know if we will or not. Obviously, time will tell. But I think it's fair to expect Bailey to be a 6 to 8 sack guy year one. And I don't think that's being fair. Obviously, I'd love him to be more. But Jake, do you think that's a fair expectation?
I think at least he should have 7 or 8 sacks. I mean, again, we were promised the most ready-made pass rusher. So if that's the case, let's see it right away.
The wording's annoying. The wording's annoying. Yeah, the wording's the annoying part. I got to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, they set themselves up for this because I know Arvell Reese is going to play all the time with the Giants in a variety of different roles. I don't even think it's just the sack number. I think it's the impact. It's the pressure. It's can you get after the quarterback? I think all that stuff matters as well. Looks like we got the old Aaron Rodgers darkness retreat screen for Will, so we'll get him situated in a moment here. Jersey Jet, thank you, my friend. You were in the raffle for 2. He's gifting a membership. So one of you just got it. Thank Jersey Jet if you're the recipient.
Yeah.
Looks like it was JStir98 who received the gifted membership there from Jersey. Mr. Magoo says Jets knocked it out of the ballpark on day 1. I agree. I think day 1 set themselves up to have a big-time weekend. Let's be real. It's very rare when you come away with 3 players in the first round. It's only happened 3 times in Jet history. Feels like it happens more often because it did just happen back in 2022. And it kind of felt like 2022 when the Jets so desperately needed a pass rusher that draft. And we're all waiting for them to, make a move and get that pass rusher maybe at 4 or 10. They don't do it. And then it's like, oh, no, they're not going to be able to get one of these guys. Then they traded back in and took Jermaine Johnson, and we were pumped. Kind of felt that way with the wide receiver in Omar Cooper's case. Like, oh, yeah, like we like the corner pick with Sauce. And, yeah, Garrett Wilson's awesome. But, man, we really need that edge rusher. Well, they got that guy. And then this year it's, well, yeah, like Bailey's really good. Sadiq has a chance to be awesome. But, man, they need a receiver. And they got that guy in Omar Cooper, who I think is just so solid. I think he'll end up being the fan favorite from this draft class. Him or Pons, ironically, both from Indiana. Pons is just fun, man. The guy's high character, baller. I think he's going to help. And we were off the air by the time the Jets drafted Cooper and Payne. If you just look at the value that the Jets got on those picks, or you look at the consensus, you look at Dane Brugler's breakdown, they got really good value with both those players. So last year they lit picks on fire on day 3. I want to give credit to Darren Mougey for seemingly learning from that. The Klubnik pick, I think they reached, but that's all Frank Reich. Like, this is the guy he wanted. It's a little, I don't really look at quarterback the same way I look at other positions in a draft, right? Like quarterback, it's You love a guy, go get him. I think they could have got him at 103 and saved 2 forts and then maybe still had Darrell Jackson or whatever, but okay, fine. But quarterback aside, I think the Jets got really good value with all their picks. Like, seriously, Bailey was either going to go 2 or 3. Sadiq was going to go in the top 20. Cooper was going to go in the top 20, top 15 in a lot of people's mocks. Pons, top 50 player for sure. You got him at 50. Most people thought he was probably a top 30 player. And if you look at Payne, 4th round graded guy in Brugler's draft guide, Cooper, another guy above the consensus. So really the only quote unquote reach was Klubnik, and he's a quarterback. So I think you got to be excited with the draft class. Now, this puts immediate pressure on Aaron Glenn to win games. Yeah, I was texting with someone inside the Jet organization about their draft class. And it was, quote, we got better this weekend. Now we got to win some games. Like, they know. Like, all this excitement, we've done this. Now it's on the coach to have this team ready to go. And it's about being able to implement modern strategy with these players, not being out-coached, out-schemed. The Jet Carpetbagger checks in. Been a good weekend. The draft sparked some much-needed hope. Thank God, right? We needed some hope.
Are you a happy guy?
Oh my goodness, let's go!
Yeah. We're all happy around here. Even though those calls with Woody are so cringe every time you see them, but I digress. It is what it is. Wayne Corbett signed jersey. I'm holding it in my hands. I will send it to a winner today. If you are the winner, make sure you enter the Asmaniac raffle for your chance to win. We'll see if we can get Will back on with us here. He's having some connection issues from his car, but I appreciate everyone in here. Write in the chat your grade for the New York Jets. Grade the draft class. Kyle Clifton says it's a real good draft. We know Kyle is a draft connoisseur, so he likes it. Will writes in, still added Surratt. They would have had 3 Indiana picks. They could have added Surratt, but it didn't work out. Leon says people act like Sadiq didn't produce. He led all tight ends in the nation with 8 touchdowns last season. He didn't have a ton of receiving yards. Like, he only had like 500 something. But again, how they used him is important in the context here. Kenyon Sadiq should be out there all the time. And just his presence alone will allow the Jets to check into certain plays. Like, if you see a certain look, Geno could audible out of it to a run or to a pass based on how the defense is going to, appear to play the Jets. Like, when you can run 2 different tight end sets now with Mason Taylor in line and Sadiq as the power slot, you could do a lot with your play calling. And other than Aaron Glenn, the most important coach on the Jets this year is Frank Reich by far. Because there's enough offensively for this team to not suck. Again, I don't think this team is going to be a playoff team. I don't even know if they're going to be able to win 7 games, but they should. If Aaron Glenn's play calling is superpower, if Aaron Glenn's play calling is his superpower, and the Jets have invested immensely in their defense, including the number 2 pick in the draft, and they have a quarterback who 2 seasons ago threw for 4,000 yards, they have a running back who went over 1,000 yards, a wide receiver who's gone over 1,000 yards every year in the league he's been healthy for. They have a rising tight end in Taylor. They added 2 pass catchers in the first round. They have 2 bookend tackles with a Pro Bowl level guard in Joe Tippmann. Why can't this offense score points? Why not? So let's see. Voice of Reason says, people are so phony. Everyone was down on not getting Reese and unhappy about taking Sadiq, and now everyone loves it. So I don't think people are like disgusted with the Bailey pick, though. Again, I wanted Arvell Reese, but I've said from the beginning, I'm not going to be that like angry if they took Bailey. You better be really good right away. Because the messaging from the Jets is we needed someone to help save the coach's job. We needed someone to produce right away. And the Jets can not deny it all they want. It got out when Albert Breer, Todd McShay, Daniel Jeremiah, they all say with conviction it's going to be Bailey, and it's the same messaging every time. And then it kind of feels like the Jets canceled Bailey's visit to try and like get people to think they were going to go Reese. And for a lot of us, it worked. I thought at the end of the day they were going to take Reese, but it didn't happen. But ultimately, the only thing that matters is if David Bailey's a good player or not. And I think he will be. Now, I do think Reese is going to end up being better, but that doesn't mean Bailey can't be good. And ultimately, if you look at the players they added after Bailey, I didn't love Sadiq in real time. Not because I don't think he's good. It's just like if the Ravens took him, oh, he's going to be awesome. The Rams took him, he's going to be awesome. I'm like, the Jets really going to have a tight end be their number 2 receiver this year? But then you got Cooper, so you feel better about the room overall. And I think A.D. Mitchell is underrated and has a chance to be a lot better this year. M123 writes in, since 2022, Geno has the 5th most passing yards in the NFL. I mean, Geno Smith's thrown for 4,000 yards 2 of the last 4 years. The Jets have had one quarterback that's ever done that. So keep that in mind. Rex Ryan checking in. What up, coach? The Bailey pick proves the national media was right. Glenn chose floor over Reese's ceiling because he's coaching for his job. Safe over ceiling. Yeah, I can't argue with that.
Are you a happy guy?
Oh my goodness, let's go!
I mean, Frank Reich is certainly happy with the Sadiq pick. That's where that Woody clip is from. Hit the like button, comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. I see we got this comment here from KJ says, let's go Knicks. Hell yeah, baby. Go New York, go. That was huge last night. Great to see Cat play the way he did. Hart coming out, responding. OG. That's exactly the type of effort the Knicks needed with their backs up against it. Exactly what they needed. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Wayne Krebet signed jersey up for grabs at the end of our stream today. The call-in link is pinned. I appreciate everyone being here. Like the video. If you haven't already, we are presented today by PrizePicks. Download the PrizePicks app. Use my code HMA. You play $5. You get $50 instantly in lineups. Check it out, whether it's playoff basketball, playoff hockey, baseball. Mets playing a doubleheader today. Yankees trying to get the sweep in Houston against the crappy Astros. Oh, yeah. Make sure you download the PrizePicks app and get your picks in across any sport. You can mix and match. It's a lot of fun. We'll give you some PrizePick lineups throughout the upcoming week. All right, let's get to some calls, shall we? Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is open. Will Paz working on rejoining us, so he's hopefully going to come back on with us to wrap up the conversation. But let's start it up with our guy, Amsterdam Jet fan, who's out in Amsterdam. What's up, Rick?
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Happy post-draft. I got to say, for me, it was an A+. I know it's been a lot of debate, but for me personally, it was for a bunch of different reasons. First of all, I'm a casual college football fan, so I don't really watch that much. Highlight shows here and there, and the playoffs I'll watch. But all of our first 4 guys were people that I watched, remembered, thought at the time, like, oh my God, that'd be a great player for the Jets, and there's maybe only 4 or 5 other people in the entire draft that I had that. Obviously Fernando and Ty we didn't want, or I knew Dylan Thieneman and Ruben Bain and of course Sonny Styles and stuff like that. But
how about the fact Bain went 15, by the way? It would have been interesting to see what the Jets would have done if Bain was there at 16.
That, after Bailey as well, I don't know. But, I actually wanted Kenyon, I'm blanking on his name now, the tight end.
Kenyon Sadiq,
geez. I wanted him the first place, actually, more so than a lot of the receivers. I was actually hoping that all the receivers would be gone, so they would pick Sadiq. Turns out they picked him anyway, even though a few were still there. And then on top of that, you get, I think it was Connor Rogers' 3rd best receiver. So some people had Cooper at 3 or 4. I don't know if I saw a mock at all that had all 3 of those options in there. So for me, that was, surprise, A+. Pons also, I think everybody, I think Will also repeatedly had already pegged him as a Jet for weeks now. So from that, obviously the first 4 picks, I think everybody feels good about. The sour taste in the mouth from Klubnik, I'd also like to throw some perspective in there because we actually didn't give up a pick for him. If you go back to the beginning of the draft, we started with 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and 2 fourths. And then we ended up with 3 firsts, 1 second, and 2 fourths. And then with the last one of those, the 6th, we chose Klubnik, also with a higher draft than we started with in the first place. So, if you plus and minus that all, it's like we actually gained all throughout that. And we got the developmental quarterback, of course. I mean, I don't know how much worse or better he is going to be than the other guys that were left. I certainly didn't watch any of those guys.
It's all a crapshoot on day 3. So again, I'm not even anti-Klubnik. I just didn't think they needed to trade up to do it. But if that's my only gripe, it's day 3, people. The biggest thing is they got the first 2 days, I believe, correct.
Yeah, and like I said, they traded up at the time, but that's only because we got the extra picks by going down to get Pons, who we would have picked at 44 in the first place. So it's like, to be honest, I think it's all very, very good GMing. I'm very impressed. I think all the other day three guys besides Klubnik, I think everybody's also quite up on. I looked up some film today on those guys. I was like, oh my God, they're all very trait heavy, athletic. What a 6'4".
If you look at analytics,
350-pound D tackle. I mean, my goodness.
Yeah, the Jets. If you look at like RAS score, the Jets had one of the most athletic, trait-driven draft classes in recent years. All the analytics people too really liked the Jets draft, and that's not everything. But again, it's funny. I think there's actually been more negativity from some Jet fans than the national media that covers the draft. The Jets have received pretty much across the board universal praise for their draft class.
Can you imagine if they would have taken Carson Beck or something? You would be down 10,000 subscribers by now.
It's unbelievable. Here's the RAS score graphic, Rick.
Does this to us? What is going on?
I mean, you can see it right here on the screen. They got to update the right Jet logo, but the relative athletic score for the Jets picks. I mean, look at the green on the chart there. A lot of green. The only green that's not there is for Klubnik, and he's a quarterback, so it's a different conversation.
No, exactly. So I mean, I'm all for it. I think Mougey's taking control of this whole situation personally. I love Glenn still, but I think he's just got a limit to what he can do. Like from a communication standpoint, he should just be a football guy and do football things with the football players. And hopefully, that doesn't mean he's going to lose us any games or anything. But I mean, it's a fantastic future. It's a fantastic landing spot for the next year's person. I mean, we're going to have one of the best O-lines, 4, 5, 6 weapons. It's like, hello, new quarterback. If that's even necessary, right? We'll see. I mean, Gino will do what Gino does, but I think it's for me personally, it's A+ draft for the reasons I just said. I didn't know half the other guys. I know all these guys, and they're all Jets. And like, what the hell? I don't think I've ever experienced that. So,
I'm right there with you, Rick. Great call, man. I appreciate the gifted memberships as well. Good luck in the raffle.
Thank you.
Amsterdam Jet fan checking in. Good stuff from him. Hey, shout out to Sam Aiken, who is in the raffle now for 4. Everything is double for the last show today. It's your final chance to enter to win a Taylor signed helmet, Wilson signed helmet, Revis signed helmet, Mangold signed helmet, and Joe Willie Namath signed helmet. Sam's super chat says, Glenn basically said he had no time to develop Reese. Then he talks about unlocking certain aspects of Bailey's game. Can Glenn develop players? I let the rope go. Look, we're going to find out, because I think this draft class is good enough where Darren Mougey's job, I think, is going to be safe regardless how the year goes. That's just my feeling. Things change. Obviously, these guys all suck, or none of Mougey's moves ended up working. That changes the conversation. But I think Mougey's job is safe. I'm going to continue to believe that till I have reason to change my opinion. It's on Aaron Glenn. They have added enough talent where if he's a good coach, he should be able to win 7 or 8 games with this roster. Don't tell me about the schedule. Every team's schedule can be difficult. It's all about when you play teams. All right, Mike Tomlin every year finds a way to get the most out of his team, and he never had great quarterbacks since Big Ben retired. Kevin O'Connell last year won 8 games with that quarterback situation. All right, good coaching when you see it. Chris Banjo had the same limitations Aaron Glenn was dealing with from a talent standpoint, and he was a good coach. We saw it. All right, what good coaching looks like. So can Aaron Glenn develop players? He better, or he won't be here, and he doesn't deserve to be here, because he's here whether we like it or not, and he has enough now to work with where if he can't maximize the talent here, he won't be here. And David Bailey should come in and have 8 sacks as a rookie. That's the expectation.
Play call is my superpower, really.
Again, you went with Bailey for the reason that he was more ready than Reese to rush the passer. So let's see it. Willie writes in, Bailey, 14.5 sacks, 2 years, 10 forced fumbles over in college career, versus Reese, 6 career sacks, no interception or forced fumbles. Reese won't be better. Great draft. Hashtag extend Brees. Well, Reese was playing a different position in college. So I don't think it's an apples to apples comparison there. Again, they were playing different positions. So that needs to be factored into the evaluation. But it is what it is. I mean, they're always going to be compared to each other because Reese went to the Giants. Bailey's a good player, though. We don't need to sit here and act like, somehow David Bailey was like a bad pick. Like, again, he was going 3 to the Cardinals, I believe, if the Jets didn't take him at 2. Hit the like button, comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Will Parkinson will be joining us from his computer when he gets home, so we won't have to worry about the internet crash out anymore, which I think is good news. Before we bring on Will, again, we got over 700 people watching our show. I just want to thank everyone for their support of our content over the course of draft weekend. A special thank you to everyone who came to our draft party in Pittsburgh at McFadden's.
Asmaniacs, let's go Jets. Asmaniacs, off-season champs. Asmaniacs, Mougey, bitches. Asmaniacs, what's your superpower? Asmaniacs, we're built for this shit. Asmaniacs. Asmaniacs, let's go Jets. Asmaniacs, off-season champs. Asmaniacs, Mougey, bitches. Asmaniacs, what's your superpower? Asmaniacs, we're built for this shit.
Special announcement. Save the date, July 11th. It is a Saturday. I am working on a big jet-related event, a summer jet party, July 11th. Save the date. More info to come, but if you've never been to an Asmaniac meetup, this might be the coolest thing we've done yet. Save the date, July 11th. I will leave it at that. And when I have more information, I will share it with the community. Sam in the raffle for 10. He gifted 5 channel memberships. Let's go. Thank you very much, Sam. Radamatic, Josh Room, Head Crash, Matt Cal, Phil Sounds, all receiving a membership there from our pal Sam. Let's get to more of your calls. Canadian Rocky, Jets Jedi is next. Hello, Jets Jedi.
Jake, how you doing, buddy?
Yo, Adrian, what's up?
Yeah, man, you did a good job covering the draft, man. I appreciate you. That was good stuff, man. I like that a lot. It was good content all weekend. This is my feeling on. I think the Jets did a fantastic job. I mean, we talked a bunch of times leading up to the draft. I was a Bailey guy watching his tape. I think that avoiding Mekhi Lemon, that he's a landmine in that draft. And going with Sadiq was brilliant. Yeah, you know what? Like and the other ones, Pons, even the 7th rounder, that he could play that VJ Payne. So Klubnik, well, they took a swing on him. He had a terrible offensive line this last year at Clemson. I went back and looked at some tape on him. And, I think that Reich has his hands full. That's a project for sure. So what do you think, Jake?
Well, I think Klubnik is a guy that they obviously fell in love with the traits. They liked him. I mean, Mougey said yesterday the combine interview with him sparked enough interest to go down to Clemson and have a workout with the guy. If that's their guy, so be it. Again, it's any day 3 pick I'm okay with. Clearly, that's a Frank Reich-driven pick, but I rather Frank Reich make the decision on the quarterback than Aaron Glenn or anyone else in the organization. Frank's the most qualified to have say in that, so I'm fine with it. I wish they just took him at 103 and didn't trade an extra 4th for him, but I'm not losing sleep over it. And I think what they did the first 2 days should be the focus. I think they got great value. They added 2 pass catchers, which was something that most of us were clamoring for, right? Like, 2 of the first 4 picks need to be receivers or need to be weapons. Like we talked about that. They did it, and they did it in the first round with Sadiq and Omar Cooper. And from a Jet standpoint, I'm actually excited to see if the Jets could, enter the modern NFL with these 2 tight end sets and what Sadiq can bring. So there's a lot of pressure on Frank Reich to prove that he knows what he's doing. Because if you listen to the draft call of Sadiq, Frank Reich heavily involved in that one. Glenn has much said it in a bunch of interviews after too. So a lot of onus now on the OC, but they have talent, man. Like this offense is, if you remove Jets from the logo and you just show this offense to people, there's players here. They should be a competent offense this year.
I think so too. I mean, there's no reason that they shouldn't be. And look, maybe Frank Reich as a head coach didn't have the best record, obviously, but as a coordinator, he's done pretty well. And he is a quarterback guy. I don't think it was his decision alone on Klubnik. I think Mougey obviously had to sign off on that. But I saw an interview with Mougey. He said that he had a good interview with him. He had good vibes on him. So, my take is that he's got good athleticism, strong arm, quick release, but his pocket presence needs a lot of work. He needs more elasticity in his arm. He's a little stiff. So, there's some twitch things that he needs to improve on. But he's a 4th round pick. Yeah, they did 2 fourths really on him. And, like you said, probably could have just got him with the 1, but maybe they didn't want to take a chance because they lost out on Allaire. So, it was probably, those were their 2 guys in the mid rounds or whatever.
I agree with you. He's a 4th round pick, so he's not going to be a perfect prospect that late, and none of these guys are. I think what you're looking for is traits in that spot. Klubnik's got the size. He's got the starting experience. He's 2 seasons removed where he threw, 36 touchdowns, I think it was. I don't have the numbers in front of me. But again, going into the year, Cade Klubnik was considered to be a top 5 pick in this upcoming draft. Like I go back to, the graphic I showed on the show yesterday. This was making the rounds on the internet. This was week 1 of the college football season. The quarterbacks in the 2026 draft: Arch Manning, Lenora Sellers, Cade Klubnik, number 1, 2, and 3 overall, and Field Yates prospect big board. Plus you had Sam Levitt, Drew Aller, Nussmeier. These guys were all top 16 players, and it didn't work out. And then we know what happened since. So Klubnik was highly regarded going into the college season. It didn't pan out for him, but there's talent there, and we'll see if they can unlock some of it.
Yeah, he was a 5-star recruit out of high school too. Obviously, there is things to like about the kid. So, it gives Reich a toy, basically, a guy that, and really, if he's going to be a backup guy for whoever we draft next year, which I believe is the plan, has to be the plan, then it's on the cheap for 4 years. So, I mean, I'm okay with it. I think, who are we to, go above Frank Reich's head and Mougey's head? Maybe they obviously have more intel than we do. So I'm okay with it. I love the Cooper pick at 30, jumping in front of Buffalo. That was beautiful. I think he's going to be a fan favorite too. I've been watching some Cooper highlights and some tape on him too. And that guy's a dog, man. And Jet fans, we like those type of players, man. We like those gritty, tough players, and that's what this kid is. So I think we got a good one. And Sadiq, here's the thing about Sadiq, okay? His athleticism is through but he doesn't play with that kind of athleticism when he's out on the field. Like I didn't see that 4.3 speed, Jake. You know what I mean? I really didn't. But what I did see was the guy's got hands and soft hands. And you know what? If you can now do those 2 tight end sets with Taylor, man, you know what? Like Gino must be the happiest guy ever this year. He's got a real shot for redemption.
Look, Geno Smith is, I don't think, as bad as what we saw with the Raiders. I also am going to pump the brakes in expecting Geno Smith to give us the Ryan Fitzpatrick 2015 season, ironically. But I do think he's better than what we saw last year. I think the offensive line the Jets have built in front of him is the key to all this, because if Geno's protected, his arm is still elite. Geno's got one of the better arms in the NFL. No one talks about it. He does. There's no reason that they can't have a competent offense if Frank Reich is still able to be a modern play caller, because I do think Geno is so much better than Justin Fields or Tyrod or Brady Cook. Like he has a chance to put up a 25 to 30 touchdown season. He's got to limit the interceptions, but like he should come close to 4,000 yards if he stays healthy. I don't think that's crazy to expect from Geno. I really don't. I don't know if it's going to lead to wins, but like again, Geno Smith should be able to throw for 3,500 yards and close to 30 touchdowns. That's not asking for much in a 17-game season with the O-line and the weapons they put in front of him.
Jake, his O-line with the Raiders last year,
the worst in the league.
It was abysmal. It was terrible. And then on top of that, it was what pass catcher besides Brock Bowers did he have? Like,
who was banged up for a lot of the year?
Yeah, who was banged up? And you see a little bit of that Brock Bowers and Sadiq's game too. So I mean, if that can be unlocked, I mean that hey, he's got a chance. He's got a chance to really come back and make an impression, and hopefully his impression with the Jets is better than his last one, getting knocked out by Ike and Pale or whatever, right? So,
yeah.
But look, I'm happy with the draft. I wanted Bailey over Reese. I know that whole ceiling, floor, all that stuff, that was all into consideration. To me, he was just a better player. And I know your stance on it, and it's valid that don't take him to save Aaron Glenn's job. I don't think that was the case, honestly. I think they took the best player there, and it happened to be a position of need. And really, I saw a lot of analysts saying, well, you know what, the ceiling may be higher with Arvell Reese. There's a thing in football. There's no guarantees at all. And I mean, Reese is in a good situation with Harbaugh now, and I wish him well. Like, I don't have anything against the kid. It's just what I saw personally. He was the third best player on that defense, and I'm really glad we went Bailey.
All right, I need you to give me a Yo Adrian for the first time post-draft here.
Yo Adrian!
Yeah, let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Canadian Rocky.
Are you a happy guy?
Oh my God! Let's go!
Hell yeah, love that. Shout out to our friend there, Jets Jedi. Awesome call. And look, he wanted Bailey, and again, a lot of people wanted Bailey. I think the more of the fan base wanted Reese than Bailey by the time we got to draft night, but I don't think we need to be disingenuous and act like David Bailey is not awesome. Again, David Bailey had one of the great seasons by any pass rusher in recent college football history. He was a consensus All-American. He had 14.5 sacks. He led FBS in tackles for a loss and pressure percentage. His career pressure rate is 18.7. His last year in college, 20.2. And I like the fact that he left Stanford, goes to Texas Tech, got paid a lot to do it, and got better. Money didn't get to his head. That's what you want. The guy, I think, has a chance to be an awesome pro. And he better be. Look, they used the second pick in the draft on him. I mean, it's crazy to think, but he is the highest drafted Jet defensive player ever. Quinnen was the previous highest at number 3 in 2019. Sam in the Asmaniac raffle for 5. Actually, it's double. Sam gifted 5. He's in for 10. Another 10 for Sam. Thank you, Sam. Hit it. Let's go. Sam, I appreciate you. Will Pa's going to join us in a couple minutes here. It's all love writes in. Joe Jake, DA, Aaron Glenn / Pons face comp. It's eerie. I know, man. It's Glenn drafted himself. He really did. D'Angelo Pons is awesome. You can't really see his face in the one photo I have of him here, but I'm pumped. Hey, speaking of faces, shout out to Ralphie Rocks for sending me this. Shout out to Lou B and a bunch of Asmaniacs that came out to our draft party. They're in Newsday's draft coverage this morning. We got our guy Hulk Hands there, Boy Green. Boy Green had the best 72 hours of his life. All right, he needs to see a doctor because there's been something in his pants that I imagine has lasted way more than just 4 hours. My God. Willie Vision checks in. Actually, no, I already read that one. John LG, I don't know if I acknowledge your membership, but I got you down in the raffle for 2. Thank you very much. Let's go, John. Let's go. All right, this guy is always positive. The Jets could lose, 35-3, and this guy would be talking about how great that field goal was by Nick Falk. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see how he's feeling after a successful draft weekend.
Get ready for Neil. He will make 13 points about the New York Jets and maybe hump a Patriots jersey. Get ready for Neil. He's probably smoking a big fat cigar and burning his house to the ground. That's Neil.
Hello, Jake.
Hello, Neil.
How everybody's feeling good? A lot of guys are disappointed because they didn't get the players they thought should be in the draft. But the reality is the people that think that the players they should get or not get is irrelevant. It's what our coaching staff and the scouts think we should get. I think the draft was really, really good. I think this kid, Cade Klubnik, I looked at some of the stuff afterwards, 26 wins in college. He didn't win. He didn't lose a single high school game in Texas. And, Texas is a hard place, is a big football high school town, right, Jake?
I mean, you sound like Gary 3D Boxing right now. Yeah, Cade Klubnik was a phenomenal Texas high school quarterback, one of the best ever, and he went to Westlake High School, which has produced Nick Foles, Drew Brees, Sam Ehlinger. Yeah, they produced some NFL guys.
Look, we got, Frank Reich obviously wanted the guy. I mean, the reality is, if forgetting about the fact that we moved up in the 4th round to get him, I mean, who cares? At that point, you're not getting any other players. Last year in the 5th round, we got Mougey, the linebacker in Miami. What has he done? He's a special teamer. So, those are pot shot picks. And the fact that he wanted this guy and the fact that, he looks like, from what I heard, from what he said on the interviews and what I saw online, he's got a competitive juice. Like you said, 2 years ago, he had a great year. Last year, he didn't. You could say the same thing for, and he has the games under his belt. He's got the size. He can make all the throws. Well, it's a shot. We'll see what happens. My feeling is, after this draft, I think we're going to have a much better offense this year than we do defense. I would like to see that change. I know I want to score points. I think at the end of this year, we're going to say we're a coach and a quarterback away. And if that's the case, I wonder how people would feel if we took all 3 first rounders next year, took Tomlin, and said, look, Tomlin comes in and hopefully the Bengals have a real shitty year. And Joe Burrow is tired of playing with no offensive line. And we can convince him to come over here for our 3 picks next year. If anybody in this chat thinks it's not worth 3 first-round picks to get Joe Burrow, they are all on some kind of drugs. Because that's a quarterback that can make 27.
The day after the draft, and you're trying to sell us on trading 3 1s for Joe Burrow. I
want to know who wouldn't do it. That's what I want to know. Because everybody in this chat who thinks they know what they're talking about with the draft,
if I could get Arch Manning, I don't know if I would do it. Whoever the top quarterback is.
Arch Manning is not going to be one of our picks because hopefully and willingly, I think we have a 6 game floor this year. I think our floor is going to be 6 games, and I think
Neil, a couple things. The Jets can have a better pick without being bad. How do we know the Colts are going to be good, or the Cowboys or the Packers? We get a full year of hate watching 3 teams for draft positioning.
It's going to be a real interesting year. I think we're going to make some real good headway.
You just said they're a coach and a quarterback away. That's everything.
That's what we're going to say at the end of the year. I mean, look, Jake, if we only get 6 wins or 7 wins, and our offense does really, really well, and our defense blows some games, obviously we're going to want Glenn's head on a chopping block.
Well, the offense does really well. Frank Reich might be the head coach.
There you go. Well, if nothing else, at least I'm hoping that Frank Reich has the play calling ability and makes use of all these weapons in a proper way. I saw tape on Sadiq when he was doing, jet sweeps. I saw him on a lot of screens, turn him into big gains. It's not necessarily that we want Geno Smith throwing the ball down the field and risking an interception. I want ball control. I want moving the sticks. I want running with Brees with 2 tight end sets. It's going to be exciting. And I think if we have good play calling, which last year we did not, I think it'll make a major difference in our team. And we'll be talking about that. And I think I'm excited, honestly. I was not excited. I'll be truthful with you. I know you say I'm always optimistic. I was not very optimistic.
Yeah, because they didn't take Ty Simpson. You were
No, Jake. I wanted a quarterback. And we got a quarterback. One. Yeah, I'm happy with that. If they didn't take a quarterback in this draft, I would be furious. If we didn't take any quarterback,
come on. You knew they were going to take a quarterback. I told you they were going to take a quarterback. They weren't going to bypass quarterback 2 straight drafts when their only starter on their team is Geno Smith, who's going to be 36 in October.
Right. But the fact that they took the guy they did is, look, they took guys that we didn't expect. Everybody wanted Nussmeier. Everybody expected us to get Reese instead of Bailey. Everybody wanted Lemon at 16 instead of taking 2 receivers and getting 2 for 1 that are both very, very talented receivers with Omar Cooper and Sadiq. So we did a lot of different things. And that's what it takes, Jake, sometimes. You got to do different things. You have to take shots. And I think they took the adequate amount of chances to maybe turn our fortunes around. That's all I'm saying. I think we did a lot of things that a lot of people probably would have disagreed with. But at the end of the day, we'll see where we are. We'll see. It's all about winning games, right, Jake? It's all how it's going to happen in September. What are we going to look like when the season opens? What are these players going to turn into? And we'll take it one game at a time. But I'm excited for the offense. That's what I wanted more than anything in this draft. And I think we achieved that. What do you think? I think we achieved the fact that we have a couple of more weapons on offense. Do you think, Jake, they're going to take another veteran quarterback? I think they got to take another quarterback here at some point. Do you?
Well, I do think it's possible. I don't know how they feel about Bailey Zappi, though. I mean, Bailey Zappi technically is a veteran. He started some games in the league before. I don't know. I mean, you could get Cooper Rush or bring Tyrod back and cut Zappi in 2 seconds. And
listen, Tyrod gets injured warming up. Forget about Tyrod. I mean, Cooper Rush played some games in the league. Is he available?
Yeah, he's a free agent. So, again, could I see them adding another veteran quarterback? Mougey said that they're going to consider it when he was asked about it yesterday. I don't know. I think at this point, I would rather them just go into the year with Geno, Zappi, and Klubnik, because if Geno goes down, play Klubnik, find out what you have in him. And if you're losing games, that's fine. Glenn's going to be out of here, and you're going to have a new coach with a top pick, 2 other first rounders. It's a more enticing job. Like, I'm not trying to have a good backup so I could win instead of 5 games and be picking in the top 5, win 7 games. That does nothing for me. Like, either Geno's good or we move on.
What if we took Rush? I mean, I got to believe Rush is at this point is better than Bailey. He has, a lot more experience playing for Dallas. And, I mean, is he going to cost us that much money? What's going to cost us? Maybe $1 million or 2 more than if we take Tyrod back?
Yeah, Cooper Rush.
I'm not worried about that.
He's fine. If they took Cooper Rush and brought him in.
And then he could compete with Klubnik. He could see what you have.
I want Klubnik to play. Because when Geno goes down, I want Klubnik to get an opportunity.
Yeah, but I don't want to have, Geno get hurt in the second game of the year and throw this kid in there prematurely either. You want to have a little bit of a buffer there. And as we get later into the season, when the kid gets a little more, seasoning, then we could bring him back, bring him in at the last 6-7 games of the season, something along those lines. But we really need somebody else. I mean, Jake, if God forbid something happens to Geno early and he has to go out for a few games, you really want to see, Zappi come in here? You really feel that confident he's going to win games for you? I don't.
The season's over if Geno goes down.
Yeah, but I want a quarterback. I don't know. That's not necessarily true, Jake. I mean, you could get a boy. You can get a guy.
Klubnik just play at that point, and we're doing the soft tank with Klubnik getting an opportunity.
I think
I don't have high hopes for Geno Smith this year. I think our ceiling is 7 or 8 wins max. So if he goes down, I'd rather win 4 than 6 games with a better backup. It's better for the long-term future. Don't tell me on culture and all this nonsense. The coach would be gone. There is no culture. Culture is when you win games and you have a good head coach that helps you do that. So I'm focused on the Jets being in the best position to attract a top-level coach with 3 ones and the most cap space in the NFL.
Yeah, but you're not going to attract Jake. You wouldn't attract a coach if we won 3 games and we
Had the Raiders do it.
What's that?
Had the Raiders just do it. They had the number 1 pick. That's how they did it.
I get it. That's how they got the number 1 pick. But did they get? They got
the top offensive guy who just won a Super Bowl with Sam Darnold as his quarterback. No one had that before the year.
All right, but somebody like a Tomlin or somebody that we really want,
Tomlin, McDermott, or the top.
Those guys are going to be more excited about coming to the Jets if they see progress. If they see that they could take the team from a 6-win team to a 10-win team in the following year.
I disagree, Neil. Those guys will be more enticed to come to the Jets if there's a viable path to getting a quarterback, because it's all about quarterback. Why did Harbaugh leave Michigan to go to the Chargers? Justin Herbert. Was their roster so good? They won 4 games the year before he got there. It's all about quarterback, Neil. We could try and break this down. You need a good roster around the quarterback, but it all starts with quarterback. And I think the Jets have added enough pieces these last 2 years and have the resources to add even more pieces with 3 first-rounders and the most cap space in the league, where you're an attractive job. So if they only win 3 or 4 games, great. Then you're going to get a quarterback and you have all this cap space. Let's go.
You want 3 or 4 games?
No, I don't. I want them to win 10 games and make the playoffs. But I'm saying I'd rather them be awful than win 6 or 7. That does nothing for me.
All right. So in our mind, either we get a Cinderella season from Geno and, we're, 4-5 after 9 games and we're not out of it by, November 1st. And we have a legitimate shot to maybe get better as the year goes on, take a little cap money and get a good player in here for the last, at the trade deadline, add players rather than subtract. Would you be happy with that? And take a shot at maybe making the playoffs this year? Maybe.
Yeah, I want them to make the playoffs. But if they get off to a terrible start, I then want them to tank. Like, I don't want, the Adam Gase 2019 season where they started 1-7 and then they won 6 of their last 8 to finish 7-9. That does nothing for me.
Okay. Well, all right. I see your point there. It's either going to be, I think that's fair, but I just can't stand losing, Jake. I know we'll be competitive because we're going to have a much better offense than we did last year. I mean, there's our floor it's ridiculous. I mean, we could throw any 22 players out there from any other team and field a better team than we had last year. It was just so bad last year. So we're going to see improvement on both sides of the ball. And, if we score points and we lose 31-28 and, we blow a lot of fourth quarter leads, I'll be happier with that than us not scoring any points on offense like we've done in the last 5 seasons. Would you be happier with that?
I want this team to have a real offense and a chance to win games. That's what I'm looking to see.
That's it. And I think we're going to have a chance to win a lot of games. And the games that we don't win, it's going to be pretty evident. It's going to be by coaching blunders by Superman there.
Play call is my superpower, really.
I'll tell you what, Neil. One Jet coach said it best. You play to win the game.
Hello? You play to win the game.
Again, I want this team to win as many games as possible at the beginning of the year, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend like culture matters. Oh, that big win over the Falcons, it really led to something. It only would lead to something if they built on it. They didn't. They then collapsed in December. They no-showed that game after they had won 3 of their last 5. Remember, they played the Dolphins at home, and I'm like, okay, if they really turned the corner here against a division opponent that punked you in their building on Monday Night Football earlier in the year, let's see if you've actually improved. Can you actually beat Tua for once? He stinks. He's awful. Can you actually beat him? And they got torched by him. That told me all I needed to know about the 2025 Jets. So I want to see this team actually look well coached and get off to a good start. If they don't get off to a good start, I'm not rooting for wins in November and December this year. I'm just not. It means nothing. They're going to have a new coach, 3 wins, the most cap space in the league. I believe in the general manager. The head coach has got to win me over. He's got to win many of us over. And it's not just the win total. It's how you get to the win total. If they win 6 games, but they won their final 3 to do it, we're going to be miserable if you have a brain. So let's win games. PBM writes in, no to McDermott. He used Al-Qaeda as a motivational inspiration with the Bills. He could stay as far away from the Jets as possible. I get all that, but I'm just telling you, PBM, he's going to be a highly sought-after coaching candidate. And look, he apologized for that. It was really dumb. But, I mean, Sean McDermott's a proven NFL head coach. He's hired good offensive coordinators for being a defensive guy. He's won a lot of games. Again, he ended the longest playoff drought in professional sports with Tyrod Taylor as his quarterback. We don't need to discredit that. He'd be taking over the Jets in this scenario with a chance to stick it to his old team twice a year and end the now newest, longest playoff drought in professional sports. I think it'd be an enticing job for him potentially. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Asmaniac Madness, for those asking about that, it returns on Tuesday with our final four. We have Chef Kevin and the big fella Tuesday. On Wednesday, it is Gary 3D Boxing and Charles Gorman. The championship will be this upcoming Friday as we will wrap up the greatest tournament in all of sports.
Final four. Asmaniacs roar. The best of the best. Who survives the test? Let's go, Jets.
Ladies and gentlemen, a message from the Chef Kevin campaign.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Hey, Chef, congratulations on making it to that Asmaniac Final Four. How were you able to beat Kyle Clifton?
Kyle Clifton, yo, was a tough competitor, #1 overall seed. I had to do my best, apply the full court press, and I was lucky enough to win.
Hey, guys, hey, not right now, guys. Easy. Chef,
Thank you.
the people want to know, what has life been like since making the Final Four?
Life has been crazy. My phone has been going off the hook. A lot of text messages, calls, people stopping me in the street, want to take pictures and autographs. Yo, it's an amazing experience, but I'm ready for it.
Oh,
Chef, easy.
All right, they're okay. They're good. They're okay.
Thank you, Chef. Thank you.
Got it. For the people.
Chef, we know you're going against the big fella. Do you have any word for him?
Big fella, tough competitor. I'm looking for a fair one. Jersey versus Jersey. Let's bring it, man.
Chef, as always, thank you for your time. See you next week.
Can't wait.
It's happening. Chef Kevin, the big fella, this Tuesday. Get ready. It's all going down in the Final Four for Asmaniac Madness. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Raffle for a signed Wayne Corbett jersey coming up at the end of our program today. Let's continue now with your outstanding calls on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline, where standing by is a man that we call the Chuck Wagon.
Chuck Wagon's always cooking, which it takes. Chuck Wagon's even cooking at the game. Chuck Wagon hates McDonald's, but he's headed home to cook. It's time once again for Chuck Wagon.
Hey, Jake.
Hey, love the shirt.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What's your daughter's name?
Savannah.
Hi, Savannah.
Yes, thank you very much for the shirt. And actually, I got a new shirt too. Wanted to show it to you guys.
Oh my God.
It does a belly button.
Yeah, that's the wrong size shirt that you gave me.
Well, I'm glad you're still getting good use out of it.
Yes, it's really tight. Just wanted to say I thought it was a really good draft. I wanted the kicker from Florida, but of course, Packers had to get him. So hopefully they do something in free agency to get a kicker in there to get some competition. Overall, I thought it was a good draft. Yeah, I can't be too upset about it. They filled a lot of holes, so hopefully they can definitely go on the over of 5.5 that Vegas is putting us at.
It was really good.
Yes, she watched day one. She thought it was very good too.
She's right.
Yes. for the people who are already trying to pick out our coach for 27, let's just relax and just let us play out 2026. Because if he gets 7-8 wins and he's retained, it doesn't matter about all this talk. Let's just enjoy a good draft, and let's just wait until the season starts in September.
Well, I mean, that's all you really can do. Like the bottom line is the head coach is here. He has a much improved roster, so there should be a much improved result. Like, I don't think we're asking for that much.
No, and with more better talent, this can really show how competent Aaron Glenn is as a coach. So no excuses. There's no more excuses for him. He can say whatever he wants. The time is now. He's got to deliver.
I agree with you. I think he is in a spot where there is a clear improvement at quarterback, at offensive coordinator. He is taking over the defense. That was his decision, right? He was the one who put his foot in his mouth potentially by saying play calling is a superpower, unless he's actually right about that. Like, that's the path to saving his job. The offense looks competent. He turns around the defense. And if they are a scrappy 7-win team, he's probably getting a third year. Whether that's the right decision or not, we'll have an entire offseason to debate it.
Yeah. I think the over-under for him is definitely 8. 8, he saves his job. 7 probably. But I think if he wants to come back for 27, yes, he needs 8. Definitely to save his job. Oh, there you go. Nope. Just make it
Savannah give us a jet chant, Chuck Wagon?
Yep. You ready?
Yeah.
Jets, 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 Jets.
Let's go.
The Jet fans getting a little crazy.
Yeah, great job by Savannah and the Chuck Wagon. Dad of the Year stuff right there. Tremendous. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get back to your outstanding calls, can we shout out a couple of huge membership explosions that just occurred? First, Ted Ruggiero gifted 10 channel memberships. He's in the raffle for 20. Let's go. If you hear your name called, thank Ted for making you a channel member. RBM, King and Boss, Rich W, Sweet Baby Jesus, TG Jets, Donnie Texas, Angel Rivera, Frankie Constantino, Nova Jet, Sherry Fenney, all receiving a gifted membership. But wait, there's more. We're not done just yet.
And here we go. Let's go. Let's go.
10 gifted memberships from David Atkins. Hit it, Beast.
Oh, yeah. That feels better. Oh, baby. All right, as they all say, Superman to the rescue.
David Atkins in the raffle for 20 memberships. He gifted 10. Here we go. Desaria, Carmen Rulio, Dan Radler, the JSN Jr., Goose McGee, Michael Vogel, Shane Listen, Paul Mayanga, Dookie 806, all receiving a gifted membership from David Atkins. Let's go. Memberships flying off the shelves, people.
They wrote me off. I ain't right back, though.
David wrote in, good draft. Thanks, Asmaniacs. Again, thank you to everyone who tuned into our draft coverage all weekend. We had huge numbers for the live streams, for the instant reaction videos from night one. Just an incredible time. Even the NFL tried to kick us out of the media room, and we still gave you an hour post game from night one of the draft. We had over 45,000 subscribers last week. We're already at over 45,223, but I think we've added a couple more since I took a screenshot of this. We're actually at 45,241. The goal is to get to 50K by week one of the Jet season. That might be a little difficult, but we're going to try. You guys are the best. Thanks for being here for every step of the way. Reminder, the show's always available as a podcast on either Apple or Spotify. We had record downloads for the month of March. I think April has been great as well. So if you are a Jet fan who watches the show on YouTube and you want to take the show on the go, spread the word. You can find the Jake Asman show in podcast form wherever you get your podcast. More of your calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is a guy who thought Diego Pavia should have been drafted by the New York Jets with one of their early picks on day 2 or day 3. Well, it turns out Diego Pavia went undrafted.
If Mad Max ain't yapping about Jets, that boy, he's jamming, he's slamming, freaking dancing, wall smashing. I'm Jake Asman. If Mad Max ain't ever stopped yapping, that boy, he still be dancing. Then call Jake Asman, he got an orange wall.
What's up, Asmaniacs? How you guys doing today? So let's just mention the draft. You know,
Can you hear me?
I think I could do is Chuck Wagon still on the line? Because I could do a way better Jets chant than Chuck Wagon. I can bring all the energy.
Oh my god! Can you hear me?
J-E-T-S Jets, Jets, Jets. And let's talk about the let's talk about the draft, really. So, B+ draft, you know,
Can you hear me?
Sadiq has a lot of good highlights.
Good job.
David Bailey could be a good edge rusher. And then really with Aaron, Mr. Trusty, bro, we gotta get 7-8 wins, you know. And imagine if he gets fired. We could would you trade 3 first-round picks for Sean McVay? Jake, what's your thoughts on that?
No.
I would. Come on. He's gonna relieve the Rams. Did you see Sean McVay after they drafted Ty Simpson? He was so mad. He was like, why? He was like, let's do a Snead. You know, they might have a beef. You know, and Stafford's on his last year of his deal. So Sean McVay pondered about retirement before, but let's see if he's going to still be coaching. But imagine if we got Sean McVay to coach next year.
I'm not trading 3 first-round picks for him. I trade one of them.
I agree. I would trade one of them. But let's see how much the Rams would trade. Let's see. And then Leon Emmis him. Did Diego Pavia sign the Toronto Argonauts? Let's see if he gets signed by the Jets.
Is there anything sadder than Diego Pavia's draft party setup?
Looks sad. I mean, I think the teams will regret it soon, honestly. I think teams will regret it.
You think so?
Yes.
I think you should put on the McDonald's hat.
That is true. Let's get a rumble. Can we get a rumble, Jake?
You're making a lot of demands, Mad Max.
Can we please get a rumble?
Well, who do you want to rumble?
Everyone on this. Professor Beast.
You're the only person on the line besides Beast.
Let's just rumble Beast anyways.
You sure?
Yes, sir.
Why do you have to start with Beast? He didn't do anything to you.
Beast is Beast is the best person to rumble with, you know. Gary can beat him in a fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, sports fans of all ages, welcome to the event of the year, the moment you've all been waiting for. This is the Asmaniac Rumble.
Man, Gary's going to beat you in a fight pretty badly. This is Gary right now. He's going to be punching like pretty bad. This is going to be Gary 3 boxing you with you in a fight.
You don't got that power like me, kid. You're not my power. Max, I will kick your ass all over the place because as it stands right now, you don't have this.
He's a good boxer.
I don't care. I don't give a monkey's ass if he's a boxer or not. Hey, you don't have something that you don't really have because you don't have the heart for this company. A Waker Bet jersey that I got through FedEx today. Unlike you, son, you got a long way to go. See, you're at the bottom of the barrel. See, I'm going to tell you something the Heart Foundation once said. Once you start at the bottom, you're going to work and you're going to remain there until the end of time.
Beast, how many Jets jerseys do you have? I have so many. I have a Waker Bet jersey.
I own 3 of them.
I own tons of jerseys. Look what I'm wearing today, Beast. I'm wearing a Michael Carter jersey.
In a pile of corn. How you like them apples? You're not in the same league as me, kid. I own multiple worldwide jerseys. I got a Manchester United jersey. I got a Chelsea jersey. Arsenal. I got many other ones too from New York. See, this is where facts and fiction come in. You're fiction. And Ace Ventura said these words once. Fiction can be fun.
Give me a British accent.
Kid, let me show you what tough is all about. You want to see tough? This is tough right here. This is tough. See, a real man like this This right here could snap a neck, break a couple eyeballs in half, and I'll still say, hey, this is what it's all about right here. You don't have the almighty
I
dollar.
have more muscle
You're
than you.
not the
Look at my
almighty
muscles,
dollar,
Beast.
man.
Look at my.
You are not
listen,
the. You are
look
not
at my
the big
beast. Look at my
dollar.
back, Beast.
You are.
I'm a
You
bigger
are
back than
weak.
you. Look at my biceps.
Sorry,
Look at
soy
my-
boys
the real
don't
man
count.
I have 180 pounds of
Sorry,
pure
soy
muscle.
boys. Hey,
You have
soy boy,
300
you
pounds
do
of
not
fat.
count. You are a soy boy who's weak. You are not in the same league as me. You could lace my boots, carry my bags, or even touch my jockstrap because you're weak.
David Aaron, how you
You're
doing?
not
This is
in my
Rumble.
league. I would break half your brains in half and leave the other
David
half on
Aaron,
the
what would you grade this draft? 8F. What would you grade out? What would you grade this draft?
You already
David.
heard my draft pick, which was C minus. Until I see some improvement and some changes, we'll see what happens. But you don't got this yet. You don't have the big veins like this. You don't got the veins. Now, I don't think so, pal. Let me ask you a question. How many home runs have you ever hit in your life? Have you even had a baseball bat in your life and slapped a good hit shot?
Bees, I would have a better shot. I would have better baseball shot.
I would definitely crush you in a heartbeat. My guys that I would crush you like Piazza. I would crush you like Delgado, Sean Green, Jose Canseco, Mark McGuire. I would kill you like Sammy Sosa, and I would destroy you, and I mean destroy you like Darryl Strawberry and Bernie Williams and Derek Jeter and even Paul O'Neill, even Chuck Knobloch. I would smoke you like a sizzled sausage. No, thank you.
Jets. Let's go.
Thank you very much to Mad Max and Beast for whatever that was. By the way, this photo is obviously fake from Pavia's draft party, but he did have a draft party where there were a bunch of hats on the table there. Obviously, it wasn't Wendy's, Taco Bell, Chipotle, Chick-fil-A, BK, and McDonald's. But he had all the draft hats on his table. The only problem is they weren't the official draft hats. The NFL did not send him the draft hats because he was not expected to go in the draft. So you know how every player puts on the hat for the team they're drafted? The league sends them the official draft hats ahead of time. So you have all 32 hats. Pavia did not have all 32 hats because he wasn't expected to go. Like the hat he had for the Jets was like the bootleg Jet hat. And as of now, I don't think he's signed with a team, right? I think he's still a UDFA. And he made a mistake. He doesn't have an agent representing him. The agents are very important in finding you a team to sign as a UDFA. It happens quick, like right after the draft. Here's his actual draft party hat. You can see, look at the Jet hat there. It's not the official Jet draft hat. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Let's go to David Aaron, who joins us now. Hello, David. David.
Can you hear me?
David.
Oh my God.
David.
Can you hear me?
David.
Can you hear me?
Let me bring on my tech guy.
Hola, amigo. ¿Cómo está? Abra zucchini. I don't like zucchini. Zucchini's okay, but I'm more of a chicken parmesan guy. How are you?
Can you hear me?
No, I can't. He needs to reset. Dude, este vato. I can't hear you. No, este vato.
Can you hear me?
Cannot. Este pollo loco. Pollo loco, cabrón. Este vato. No. Que soy tú, cabrones, güey.
Can you hear me?
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Jets. Let's go.
Call back in, David. Unfortunately, we can't hear you. We can't hear you, unfortunately. Hit the like button if you're just joining us. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Wayne Corbett signed jersey coming up. Every membership and every super chat for the final show is double in honor of draft weekend. Joe Namath signed helmet, Nick Mangold signed helmet, Darrell Rivas signed helmet, Garrett Wilson signed helmet, Mason Taylor signed helmet, raffled away on our show tomorrow. Comments, questions, super chats, they cut the line. Big shout out to the Doc. Doc Jet fan says, thank you for the remarkable Jet coverage of this past draft. No one does it better. It's great to share all the ups and downs with such a devoted fan base. Doc, well, thank you for tuning in and being part of it. Thank you to you and everyone who supports the channel year round. This was the first year that we broadcasted live from the Senior Bowl, live from the NFL Combine, live from the Super Bowl, and live from the actual NFL draft. We've done the Combine and the Super Bowl the last 3 years. This year we added Senior Bowl, and this was the first year as a YouTube show. I did the show live from the actual draft. And I think we got to do it again from the draft next year in DC, right? I mean, come on. 3 first-round picks for the Jets. Probably quarterback with one of those picks. I think we'll be having a draft party in DC next year. Austrian Jet fans in the raffle for one. Psych, it's 2. He gifted a membership. Let's go.
It's up to you, New York, New York.
Austrian, thank you very much for your support. He writes in, Chef Kevin, numero uno. Chef Kevin, big fella, head-to-head this Tuesday in Asmaniac Madness.
All right, Asmaniacs, we're here at the Cloverleaf Tavern. We've got Chef, we've got the big fella, getting ready for the big matchup this Tuesday. Gentlemen, to us fair and face the camera for us. All right. Now the face-off. It's getting real. Oh my gosh! No! Wait till Tuesday, guys. Whoa! All right. Without further ado, it'll be this Tuesday. Chef and the big fella.
I'm coming for you, big fella. Yeah.
Asmaniac Madness is underway. Make sure you vote to make your voice heard.
It's going down, baby. And then Wednesday, Gary and Gorman head-to-head. Championship on Friday.
Are you a happy guy?
Oh my goodness, let's go!
It's going to be epic. Let's go. Comments, questions, super chats. They always cut the line. Appreciate everyone who is here. Let's get to more of your calls, shall we?
Adam is cool, although kind of basic. He claims he's too cool, though often quite basic. He makes great jet points, looks a little basic. Adam is cool, too cool, but basic. Some would say generic.
Hey, Jake, I'm so happy for you, man. You do what you love. I mean, this isn't work for you. This is fun, and this is life. So awesome work. Great
I'll
weekend,
tell you what,
man.
You're right, and it's even better when it's actually like positive stuff to discuss with the Jets.
Yeah, it's amazing just to see your energy, and I know that it was a great draft. That really helps re-energize. So I think we saw Flat Max, Fat Max, and Mute Max all in succession just now. So anyway, I was curious. Here's one of my dumb questions, but I don't mind you asking. What would fire you up the most to happen first with those first 4 picks that we had? Bailey gets 2 sacks, or a Kenyon Sadiq touchdown, or an Omar Cooper touchdown, or a D'Angelo Pons interception. What would get you the most fired up out of those things, or something else?
Well, winning games will get me the most fired up. I'd like that to be on the record. So what are my options? It is a Bailey sack.
Let's say 2 sacks, because he'll probably get a sack in his first game, because that would be pretty awesome. But let's just say 2, just to keep it an even playing field. Let's say like 2 sacks for him would be like the same as like a Kenyon Sadiq touchdown, or an Omar Cooper touchdown, or a D'Angelo Pons interception. Just try to keep it on equal footing.
Well, if Pons gets the first pick that the Jets have had since week 18 of the 2024 season, I think that might be the most exciting moment if it happened in like a big spot.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Sadiq scoring a touchdown would be pretty sick. Like the Jets got this like new shiny toy, modern NFL offensive weapon. Like, I think that'd be pretty awesome.
That's what I look for. That's what I love the most about this draft class. Like those top 4, they're gonna make plays. They're gonna get the crowd riled up. I love it. like, no offense to a lineman. Like, if we had Vega, it would be great, but like Vega won't get the crowd noise up. Like, any of those things I just mentioned are going to get the crowd fired up and get us feeling like, oh my God, we're like a real team that could do really interesting things. So I think that's going to be really exciting. And also Pons, being short, I think he's going to bring that Wayne Corbett energy. I think that we're going to treat him like the defensive version of Wayne Corbett, and we're also going to love him for his size and what he can do despite his size.
Look, I think Pons is, he's a freak athlete, man. I mean, what was his 40 time? Like, I love Wayne Corbett, but like Pons is a different level of athlete,
Yeah. Oh, and he runs backwards. That's the cool part. Like,
yeah. I mean, D'Angelo Pons. I mean, you watched him as an Indiana fan. That was probably my that was either that or the Cooper trade back in was my favorite like move or pick that they made over the weekend.
Oh, I like jumped out of my bed with the Cooper trade up. That just like made my day. I was so happy about that. Like, that was because it was getting a little dark because I'm realizing now like the appeal of Sadiq, and I think the Sadiq's gonna be awesome. He's gonna be really fun to watch and play. Just don't expect 1,000 yards out of him like we've been getting out of the top tight ends the last couple of years. Where like all of a sudden now we expect 1,000-yard seasons from tight ends. That's a new thing in the NFL. We weren't used to that. It used to be like 500, 600 would be good. So let's go back to like that expectation, especially when he's sharing time with Mason Taylor, and Mason Taylor could be open too now. So like, who the heck knows? But I think there's a lot to look forward to. I think that the games are going to be really exciting. I'm personally very excited about the draft in DC next year. Let's go. It's going to be the best draft yet. It's going to be 1 million people. I think it'll exceed 1 million people in the first 2 days because I think there's nothing like the National Mall to like get everybody coming, and it's going to be a zoo in DC next year.
Did you see the renderings of what it's supposed to look like according to Adam Schefter's tweet this morning?
What? Show me what was the rendering?
Take a look right in front of the Capitol building.
I can't really see it, but I'll just pretend like I'm wowed by it. But like, I think like I'll tell you what, it'll like go. It wouldn't shock me if like the entire National Mall was occupied, like and like people just hang out in the Lincoln Memorial and like tailgate and watch it there too. Like, it's going to be an incredible scene, and of course, of all the drafts, it's going to be an amazing another like 3 first-round draft pick, and maybe we'll get our quarterback of the future there too. Maybe that's like the arch coronation day for us, and hopefully we'll have a great QB for a while, and or whoever else comes up. Who the heck knows these days, right? And because what is real anymore? I was that big fella Chef Kev video, man. I was like, I don't even know what's real anymore. Was that AI? Was that real? Like, I don't even know now. So,
oh, it was real, all right, and it was spectacular.
Spectacular. Good on them for putting that together. I love this community. So at any rate, I'll let you get some other callers. Have a great rest of your weekend, and on to the schedule where we will inevitably be matched up with the friggin' Titans week 1 because that's going to happen.
Let's go, baby. Got to beat old Robert Saleh. Good call, Adam.
Yeah, here we come, baby. Here we come. Here come the Jets, baby.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait, man. Shout out to Ozzy Fullers in the Asmaniac raffle for 2 by gifting 1 membership. Everything is double for the final time.
We can't hear you. Restart. Go to commercial.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jets Worldwide, wide, checking in. Thank you for the now paid endorsement for Jets Worldwide, every Jets content creator's favorite Jets content show. Hope you enjoyed the draft and looking forward to being there with you guys in the near future. Snowball, you were missed, man. Johnny Boy made it to the draft. Lou B helped him sneak over the fence to watch the Omar Cooper pick. Shout out to Lou B and all the Asmaniacs who are in the draft pit. That was just awesome. I mean, this photo is just tremendous. Everyone in this picture here was at our draft party before the draft. So much fun. So much fun. Boba Jet, Hulk hands. Love it. Boy Green, speaking of the devil. Boy Green, call in if you're around. I want to get your thoughts on the weekend. Rich Eisen said that if the Jets keep and use all their 3 first-round picks next year, they would be the first team in NFL history to have 3 first-round picks in back-to-back years. Wow. But I believe it. I mean, you very rarely see a team get 3 first-round picks. Think about it. To acquire extra first-round picks, you have to have trades of really good players to get you first-round picks in return. And very rarely do you trade a guy like Quinnen and Sauce or a Jamal Adams. And remember, the Jets, they were only supposed to have 2 first-round picks in each of those years, the Adams year and this year. but they move back into round 3. Next year, they move back into the first round, I mean, to get that third first rounder. Next year, they truly just have 3 ones going into the draft, which is unbelievable. So it's crazy, man. Kyle says the Cooper pick was the best. Great move to come up there for the 5th year if you liked him. 100%. And Mougey said that in the presser. Adam is too cool, says Kyle. Clifton is the gold standard of solid calls. I agree. I agree. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. We're going to get to more of your calls momentarily here, but we've gone for an hour and 50 minutes. And what I need to do right now is twofold. One, I need to play you a campaign message from Charles Eugene M. Gorman.
Hello, everyone. This is hopefully my final take for my campaign video of my Asmaniac Madness tournament against Gary. Once again, I want to thank all of those who were willing to support me. I really appreciate that. With that being said, here's the real reason why you guys should vote for me. I try my best to give you guys good quality entertainment. Even though I know you guys think I'm hilarious, but at the same time, I don't always try to be funny. I try to be honest not only with you guys, but with myself as well. And I really do care about this community. As I said, if it really wasn't for this community, I wouldn't be where I am today, not just as a YouTuber, but as a person as well. I know I really love this community overall. I think there's a lot of good, honest, genuine people in this community. So, yeah, I really do care for you guys. Hopefully, Hopefully, we Jets fans have a good year this upcoming season. I know some of you guys don't think I'm a good Jets fan, but I really am. What I just did a while back was a horrible lapse in judgment, so I really love this team. I really do. I got a lot of Jet merchandise. But let's go Jets, and please vote for me for Asmaniac Madness.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a message from Charles Eugene M. Gorman.
Asmaniac Madness is underway. Make sure you make multiple accounts and vote 50 times for Gary 3D Boxing.
It's all happening, baby. Can Charles Gorman rally the troops against the other 1 seed in the Final Four, Gary 3D Boxing? That is the question that is on everyone's mind. Ladies and gentlemen, Ozzy Fuller's in the raffle for 2. Let's go, Ozzy. Cash Money Mike in the raffle for 2. Keep the memberships flowing. Hell yeah. Mike Perez checks in. He's in the raffle for 4. Everything is
Good
double.
job.
Ran into Kyle Clifton in Newark Penn draft night. I'm 6'1". Kyle towered over me. Massive man. Great draft. Now let's apply the talent to the field. Kyle Clifton is a gigantic human. If we were doing the all-security team for Asmaniacs, Kyle Clifton is 1,000% on that team. The big fella is 1,000% on that team. And I know for sure our next caller is most definitely part of the Asmaniac security team.
Gator, I don't understand why I don't have an intro. Gator, I need an intro, buddy. A cool intro, please. I've been calling in, supporting Jake for over 4 years. You got Adam is too cool, Papa 73, and I don't understand why you won't create one for women.
You have no sense of humor. That's the problem.
I don't.
When you have a sense of humor, then you can have an intro.
I'm worthy of an intro. All right, fine. I don't understand why I don't have an intro.
Hey, Jake, can you hear me?
Oh, I hear you, Rob.
Am I in the darkest scene here? Am I too dark here?
It's a little dark, but I can see you.
Okay, cool. Let me try to fix that. Jake, you know that definitely we'd be head of security. We take care of the Asmaniacs with Big Fellow and Kyle. You wouldn't have any issues. Hell, you wouldn't have any issues if it was just me. I'd take care of you guys.
Love it.
Jake, Snowball couldn't come because he was with the Ultimate Gugines. He was with Neil. He was with Purple Belt. He was with myself. And you knew that. We were at the main event, which was good. you guys had a great time there. It seemed like it would have been nice to be there, of course. But for local, I mean, we had a good time. It was good.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys got together. That's awesome.
Yeah. The only thing that we were missing was Peter Castro. That sucked. He was still in Florida, and yourself, of course. But we had a good time. My grade as far as the draft, Jake, down to B plus, A minus. And that was obviously because of Klubnik. You know, I'm not too fond of that quarterback. He had an awful year last year, though there was some circumstances why he had a bad year, but he didn't look so good. And then us coming up for him, which was not necessary, as you said. That was ridiculous. Honestly, he went too quickly, but I would have taken Drew Aller. I mean, looking at Aller's film and everything, but he went too early, so he was not there. So it is what it is. The rest of the draft, I'm pretty much happy with. I think that definitely Bailey's going to be really good. We got to give him a little bit of time, but if he gets anywhere between 6 and 8 sacks this year and does better against the run, we're trending in the right direction of him being an extremely good player. But I'm going to be keeping an eye on Reese too. You know, I want to see this guy be this phenomenal player that everyone says. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on him. I love Cooper, the wide receiver. I thought that was fantastic. Sadiq is going to cause up matchup problems. They're going to have a lot of matchup problems with Sadiq, and he's going to be Gino's safety valve. You know, when things are not there, he's going to pop it right to him. So I thought that was a great pick. So they made a lot of good picks. Those picks at the end, you know, who knows about Bain and the linemen and stuff, the other Cooper. Hopefully they're good. I don't know much about them, so I'm not going to comment about them. I'm going to go by what people said. And I hope that they contribute to the team at the very minimum. But overall, it all comes down to coaching, Jake. Are you still there?
I'm listening.
Okay, buddy. You know, it all comes down to coaching. Let's see what Aaron Glenn does. His superpowers. You know, he knows the defense. You know, this is what I do the best. Gino's going to take us to the promised land. So you know what? He's got to stick by those comments where he made those stupid remarks. So you know what? Him, I'm not going to let off on. You know, Mougey, I saw some really good things, and I kind of saw him take over. If you didn't notice, when they first had their meeting to speak, it was Mougey who spoke first and who took over. And every 5 minutes, if you notice, Aaron Glenn with his hand kept on like almost kind of like putting it on the side of Mougey, like right, where he never did that in the beginning. It was almost like he was referring more to Mougey. Do you know what I mean?
I think Mougey has had way more influence this entire offseason than he did a year ago. I think that's clear. Some of the picks kind of back that up. Like I think Mougey's done a good job. He hasn't taken the big swing at quarterback yet, though. And if he gets a chance to hire a coach, the same things that ultimately define Douglas are going to define him. But I think Mougey's done a good job to this point.
Yes. The only thing that gets me is this, Jake. Everyone was furious when they picked Bailey and they picked Sadiq.
Not everyone, but
well, a lot of people. Until we took Cooper. Once we took Cooper, everyone was like, oh, okay, now I get it. Yeah, this is great. This is great. But people were kind of like jumping off ship until they acquired Cooper. No? Would you agree with that?
Well, I think there were a lot of fans who wanted Reese over Bailey. And I think the Sadiq pick, it made people a little nervous because it's like, are they not going to be able to get a receiver? The Cooper pick put everyone at ease because it's like, okay, you got 2 pass catchers now. Like, love it. Like, you got a guy who no one thought would be there at 30, and you got him.
But if they don't do it that way, Jake, maybe Sadiq is gone and you only get Cooper.
Correct. So, or they take Lemon. I think if you told me they came away with Bailey and Lemon, there'd be a lot of Jet fans who'd be pumped about night one, even if they didn't make another trade back in for a third player.
I tell you, I'd rather have straight up Cooper or Lemon. I'd take Cooper. I like his film better. I like Cooper better. And I like the program he came from. You know, one thing that they did do well that was really smart was that they went and they drafted from Indiana. That's smart because, you got a coach who was phenomenal for 2 years, won a national title, and he coached the team like a pro-level team. You got to go after those types of players, Jake. If you think about it, it's really smart. Everything boils down to Aaron Glenn right now. I'm sorry to say that, and obviously what Gino does this year, but everything boils down to him. If he has these powers to be a good defensive coordinator, get better in game management, making calls, and comprehending the game better. Will Parkinson's not wrong. I wouldn't put it 20%. I think he needs to improve a lot more than 20%. But if he improves significantly, then we're going to see something. But to me, it's got to be 7 or 8 wins and trending in the right direction in order for me to say, okay, yeah, maybe we got to stick with Glenn one more year. If it's not 7 or 8 wins trending in the right direction and he's doing things the right way and not making stupid mistakes and losing games, I'll be okay with him returning for a 3rd year. How do you feel about that?
I think that's the barometer. I think that is clearly what needs to be done for him to be back. They got to look like a well-coached team. They got to win games, get off to a good start. How are they against division opponents? How are they early in the year? If they play solid week 1, what he's going to be stewing if they lose that game. So all that matters in the totality of the evaluation of Aaron Glenn.
Gator, where is my intro? I need a cool intro. I've been calling in, supporting Jake for over 4 years. You did intros for Papa Jet, and Adam is too cool. I'm worthy of an intro, Gator. I don't understand why I don't have an intro. You suck, Gator. You really suck.
Ladies and gentlemen, a call from Rob from Glenhead. I saw PBM wrote in that getting the chance to watch the draft with Rob and Neil and all the Italian stallions that make up part of the Asmaniac community, that it felt like PBM was in Italy. Take a look.
J-E-T-S, Jets. Let's go. Let's go, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go, Kenyon Sadiq.
Kenyon Sadiq. We were getting the draft reaction clips from those guys. See what else I have here. I didn't get a chance to play it the night of the draft because we were so busy at the media center trying to go live. But here was the Asmaniac meetup at the main event on Long Island for the draft. Let me find it. We had Rob, Snowball, Neil, and PBM. Bailey Brigade. Let me give you guys another clip here. And roll the clip. Action.
David Bailey, number 2 overall to the New York Jets. What a fucking surprise. Jake, baby, yeah! Bailey's brigade! He better fucking work out. God damn it. Go Jeremiah Love. What the fuck is the matter with this team? What is the matter? David Bailey, welcome to the New York Jets.
David Bailey better be good. Otherwise, we blame Rob from Glenhead. Those are the rules. They better not be good, by the way. They better be great. Like that. That is the barometer for David Bailey. Cash Money Mike checks in. You made listening to your show during the draft relevant with all your comments. The Jake Asman Show's the best Jets content on the internet. Thank you very much, Cash Money Mike. A lot of great YouTubers out there, content creators, media folks who talk about this team. And I'm just glad that we're able to do it year round because of the audience that tunes in. And because we have people like this guy that calls in from his attic. What up, Beast?
This is GSH Global Studio Headquarters. This just came today.
Looks good.
Via FedEx. Congratulations to FedEx. Number one at delivery and number one at charge. Read them.
Hey, do us a favor. Reenact what it looked like when Vinny would throw the Crevette back in '98.
Oh man, what would Vinny do? Vinny had the idea to do a nice little flu shot. Okay, let's see if we get that guy from CBS to do this. All right, Corvette's on the other side. Nonsense. Where he's gonna go? He's gonna pass. He's gonna go. He's gonna fly. He's gonna launch it into the end zone of the touchdown. Touchdown, way Corvette, and he just took it right to the wind. Woo, baby! That's how you do it. Woo!
And that is how we do the show year round. More of your calls right now. Anonymous KOD is on the line. Hello, Anonymous.
What's up, Jake? How are you?
What's up, man?
I was just thinking about this draft class. I mean, Bailey's all right. Problem is he can't defend the run. Same with McDonald. So really would have preferred Reese there.
They're going to have to coach him up in that area. They're going to have to hope that Carl Dunbar can work with him and he can get a lot better there.
Yeah, I hope so. The Sadiq pick, I just really don't understand because we don't have the quarterback yet. Don't think Frank Reich's offense is going to really scheme him up to be anything this year. Just really hoping he works in another scheme next year. The Cooper pick was probably my favorite, him and Pons. Both playmakers. They're going to be great this year. And we drafted great, I think, late. Day 3. Klubnik shouldn't have traded up for him, in my opinion. I agree with you there. But rest of the draft, I like what they're doing.
I think they got better. I think they really got better. I think they added pass catchers they desperately needed. I think it's exciting to think what Sadiq can now be. We could be one of those teams that has those two tight end sets, him and Taylor, forming a duo there that just we have not seen as Jets. When was the last time the Jets had two legit pass catching tight ends? In my lifetime as a fan, I can't think of it. So I'm excited to see what it looks like.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I haven't seen that either, two tight end sets. So hopefully we can modernize the offense, get everyone going. I think Geno kind of has no excuses this year, too. He's got a decent enough line, enough pass catchers and weapons, and we got Brees still. So hoping for the best.
Yep, me too, man. Me too. I'm excited to see what they do. And I think at the end of the day, the roster is dramatically improved in overall. And now it comes down to the coach being able to maximize the talent that's there, including the offensive coordinator who has a lot on his plate now.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Thanks for having me.
Have you called before?
Nope. This is my first time.
Oh, well, welcome aboard, man. You're a very good caller. Call in some more.
I will. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're in the raffle for 2 as well. Actually, 4. It's double. So congrats to you.
All right. Sweet. Thank you. I'll definitely be back soon. Have a good one.
Love it. Anonymous KOD checking in. Last chance to get in the raffle, by the way, as far as everything being double. On Monday, I'm going to raffle away 5 signed Jets items. Normally, we do 3. For draft weekend, we stepped it up. We're doing 5. Mason Taylor, signed helmet. Garrett Wilson, signed helmet. Darrell Revis, signed helmet. Nick Mangold, signed helmet. Joe Namath, signed helmet. Those are the top prizes in our raffle. Everything is double if you get the membership or send in a super chat. That qualifies. Let's keep ripping through your calls. Hit it.
Want to go do some role playing? Oh, yeah. Hey, dickwad. It's time to party. We're gonna party. Jets fans will party with Peg and Artie. Hey, Peg. Nobody gives a shit that you all stink. Listen, bitch. Pay your fucking taxes, man.
This really wasn't what I expected.
Eat a bag of dicks. It's time to party. With Peg and Artie. We're gonna party with Peg and Artie.
What's up, guys? Asmaniacs. Salute.
Artie.
Hey, I just got 2 quick observations before I just bring up a draft point. I never met Rob, but in that picture, Rob is as wide as Snowball and Purple Belt Mike. He's like size of 2 men. Holy shit. The other thing is, we got Chef Kev and the big fella, 2 of the nicest guys on earth going at it. And then the other one, the dark one, Charles and Gary. You know that's going to get ugly. that is going to get ugly because Gary's going to push the buttons. He's so good at doing, and Charles is going to react, which is what he does. And I think there's going to be severe fireworks on that one. So looking forward to those two shows for sure.
I am pumped.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. As far as the draft, you guys did a great job. I wasn't watching the chat, but I was watching. I was going back and forth through the channels watching. You guys worked your asses off. I mean, you guys were on for like 28 hours or something in the 3 days. It was like something crazy. It was like so much. It was unbelievable. Yeah, so we appreciate you guys for doing that. It was fun and entertaining. The chat got me a little annoyed, but you know.
Well, everyone's got crazy opinions, especially when we're doing this in real time too. Like the mood from pick 16 to before the trade back in was kind of crazy.
Yeah, and there was so much time between those picks too for the Jets at the end. There was absolutely annoying beyond belief. I thought the trade up was a little crazy to get the quarterback, but I kind of trust Mougey. You know, he kind of reads the board pretty good. I really love the last two picks he got. I just think he really wanted this quarterback. You know, right or wrong, time will tell. And I'm not so sure this guy can't be a starter if developed properly. I mean, nobody thought Purdy was going to be a starter when he was drafted. Dak Prescott was drafted in the later rounds. You know, so you never know. You just don't know. So I'm hoping for the best. You know, as a bootlicker for the AG clan, you know, I'm hoping for the best for AG. So hopefully we'll make the playoffs this year. We'll see what happens, so I guess.
Well, let's just hope that no matter what happens, they're at least off to a decent start, so at least we can have a season. That was my biggest thing last year. Just we never even had like false hope. Like even in the year they were sucking for Sam, they started 3-2. Like give us a fake year where like the solid team in year 2, they were 6-3 before they collapsed. Like I'd like to see some semblance of hope if it's not going to end up being a playoff year.
The only thing that I mean, like if you really think about it.
Already, we're losing you. Try and call back and we can finish your call. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line, ladies and gentlemen. Let's check in with a man who knows a thing or two about the NFL draft. It's our friend Kyle Clifton.
What's going on, Jake?
Hey, Kyle.
So, I want to talk about Darryl Jackson for a second. Are we going to perceive this as kind of a shot across the bow at Sweat's work habits? Like, you know, that was a concern when we traded for him, right? I think he's only got 1 year left on his deal. I think that with Jackson, he's got a little bit of flexibility there. He's a little bit smaller than your standard nose, but he can kind of grow into the role and probably wouldn't be exposed if he was in a reserve role initially as the 3-4 nose. But I think if we're going to be multiple, he'll be spending a lot of time in a 4-3-1 tech. But at 6'5.5" and only 315, getting into a pro program, I think he's got some he can actually put some weight on, which is a little terrifying. You know, it just seems like to me there were a couple things we weren't talking about going in. You know, one would have been Klubnik, 3rd or 4th round, right? And the other thing was defensive tackle. It wasn't really perceived to be a need. So, I mean, if we saw him as a great value, and I saw him, you know, kind of all over the board a little bit, anywhere from like low 90s up to 125. Since they have Dunbar, they're probably of the opinion that there's a lot of untapped potential there. I see him as a guy that they're gonna look to possibly replace Sweat if you know some of the rumors about his work habits do turn out to be true, and they don't want to expend that second contract. and initially a guy that can be a little bit of a movable piece for them, backup NT, and then the one tech and the 4-3.
So I don't think he's just there for Sweat. I think he's depth, though, on a defensive line that if you look at it, while Sweat is here and under contract, Harrison Phillips is in the last year of his deal. David Oyamada is on, I think, basically a one-year deal,
yeah.
right? Like, so, they have Peyton Page is one of the guys that's on your D line. Like, I don't know if he's going to make the team. I don't know if, Mozzie Smith is going to make this team. So they needed some players there, like they needed to add some talent there, especially if like you look ahead and if the Jets have some guys that are, not productive anymore. They're free agents. Like, I think that's a good pick because he could potentially play himself into being a starter by his second year.
Yeah, I mean, he's the one guy of the 8 picks that hasn't really been discussed too much in depth. So I wanted to kind of seize on him for a minute. And
what's interesting about him? Connor Rogers, who has a big board he posted for NBC, he had Jackson as his 103rd graded player, and the Jets took him at 103. You talk about nailing value right there.
Right. I think I saw another big board that had him at 102, and another one that was at 125, and some of the Sims had him down in the low 90s. So he's right there in the range. It's and especially in a draft that's not that deep, I think the beauty gets to be within the eye of the beholder after you get after round 3 a little bit. I mean, I wasn't pleased about the trade up for Klubnik, but like I get it. If you have a guy you've identified as your guy and you said we're going to take this guy somewhere in the 4th round, you take him. But yeah, I'm with you. Like, I would have loved to keep the picks and have 7 in the top 40 because I think that there's real value in that. That's my only thing. I appreciate your time as ever, Jake.
Kyle, excellent call. You killed it all draft season, Kyle. You're one of our best callers year round, but especially with the draft, you know your stuff. So glad that you came away liking what the Jets did at the end of this weekend.
Yeah, and kudos to Nick Sean, who hosted a great draft party out in Jersey. I enjoyed myself.
That's awesome. I love the picture of Big Fellow and Gorman.
Take care, man.
Kyle Clifton, everybody, check it in. Ladies and gentlemen, a couple super chats I want to hit, and then a special guest who was at the draft. He was inside the belly of the beast of the draft. And no, I'm not talking about the guy who calls in from Illinois in the Global Studio headquarters. Tyrone Garcia with a super chat. He says, love the draft. Great job, Jake, with all the shows. All you do. Go Knicks. Go Jets. Big win for our Knicks last night, Tyrone. Let's go. Shout out to you, Tyrone. I know you're always supporting the show. I always see your comments a lot of times when we're not live. Appreciate all the super chats. You're in the raffle for a Wayne Krebet signed jersey coming up here at the end of my stream for 4. All right, special guest about to join us. But first, some housekeeping. John Hendricks has been spamming the chat with some Patriot nonsense. He goes, the Jets still stink. Go Patriots. How was day 3 for your NFL head coach up in New England, John? How were his counseling meetings? How'd that go? Oh.
Now look what you've done. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give him another 24 hours to think about it.
We'll see you later. Bum. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get to your calls. But first, a special guest. Joining us right now is a man who was pictured in this very photo. He goes by many names. We call him Boy Green. Paul Esden Jr. joins us right now. Paul, you there? Maybe not. Paul? Boy Green? Paul? Well, Boy Green tries to call back in. I just saw him. We'll make it happen for him. In the meantime, I will play this.
So we're going to get into all of it here. Again, my name is Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. We come 2 hours after every final whistle here for the post-game show. And I'm going to be honest. The only good thing that happened to me late tonight, early this morning, was making sweet, passionate love to my fiance, which I did after the article was written and that kind of stuff. That's the only good thing that happened. Not great. Terrible.
Boy Green, try and call back in. I know he's driving back from Pittsburgh right now. More of your calls. Sky Drone is next. Hey, Sky Drone. Unmute your mic.
What's going on, Jake? How you doing, my brothers? How's everybody? Jets family, Jets Nation. How are you?
Sky Drone, what's up, man?
I'm good, man. Entertaining, man. Entertaining draft season right now. Finally got it over. There's no more he say, she say. The real deal's done. Mougey did a little bit of magic. I know not everybody's too happy with the 2 picks for the quarterback. I think we should have waited. I was a little down. I wanted McNeil Warren over Pons, but that's neither here nor there. But in all, I think we could definitely say it was a A- to maybe a B+ on the draft. And thank you guys so much for the live coverage and everything that you do to keep us on our toes and guessing what's going to happen. And we're in there, even though we're not physically there. You keep us alive and you keep us in it. So thank you, Jake Asman, and thanks, Boy Green. Zoinks.
Sky Drone, great call, man. Appreciate that. Johnny Boy just sent me this. This is a picture of us at our draft party. I want to give a shout out to Dom, who's pictured there in the middle. He did a good job behind the scenes helping me out this weekend. But great turnout for the party, and I'm excited for next year's draft, man. 3 first-round picks. DC. Let's go. James Mart with a super chat. Great show, Jake. Thank you for the great draft coverage. Thank you, James. Appreciate you. Got you in the raffle for 4. Hope AG could do something with his new talent. Look, there's no excuse for the head coach. Again, even if you're an AD truther or an AG truther, you have to acknowledge year 1 was not good. I mean, he acknowledged it wasn't good. He made changes to his staff that you just don't see from any first-year coach. 50% turnover, both coordinators. So this is a put up or shut up year for the head coach. Simple as that. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Boy Green, are you there? Hello. Is anybody alive out there? Maybe not. All right, last chance to get on the show. We've been going for 2.5 hours almost. I appreciate everyone who is supporting what we do around here. It's been a wild, wild few days, man. Literally pulled an all-nighter Thursday. So got back from the media center at the draft, I want to say close to 2 a.m. My flight was at 6 and boarding was at 5 something. And the airport was about a 30-minute ride. So I'm like, why am I going to go to sleep for like an hour maybe? So I just stayed up. And I have never fallen asleep faster than I did on the plane. The second I got to my seat on the plane on my flight, I don't remember what else happened. Like we were at LaGuardia the next thing I knew. It was the shortest flight I've ever experienced. And then fell asleep in my lift home from the airport and then got into my apartment here in Manhattan at 8:30 in the morning and then slept from like 8:45 to 3:45, almost 4. Got up, made the thumbnail, checked whatever I missed because I knew there was some press conference sound from some of the prospects. Want to make sure I didn't miss anything. And then we did live streaming of the entire day 2 of the draft. Night 2. Shout out to Dylan Terriman for coming on for that. Craziness. A lot of fun. All right, we can't get Boy Green on the line, but we could get his Friday co-host. Bob Lederer has called in. Hello, Bob.
Hey, Jake.
What's up, Bob?
Hey, Jake, what did you think of the kicker from BYU that they signed as an undrafted free agent? That's a big need. They don't have a kicker that were rated as draft. The Giants took the kid from Michigan, which I know that.
Bob, we're losing you with the connection there in the car. I did see the Jets signed a UDFA kicker from BYU. I didn't look into his numbers, full disclosure, but I'm not surprised they added a kicker. they desperately need to have some competition there, and they will. Will Ferrin is the guy's name. I'll see if I can look up some information on him. His stats. 82% field goal percentage in his college career. Has hit from over 55 yards. He was the 5th ranked kicker in Yahoo Sports draft rankings. So, I mean, look, Chris Banjo's special teams units were the best part of the team a year ago. 6'3", 175 pounds, redshirt senior. He's from Kaysville, Utah. I hope he's better at football than the last BYU player the Jets had. So we shall see. Shout out to Hennessy. Hennessy Heisman in the raffle for 4. The Sadiq pick caught me off guard, but trading back into the first for Cooper makes so much sense. We have difference makers on the team now. Also, did you hear Buffalo wanted Cooper? Did I hear they wanted Cooper? It was known they wanted Cooper. So that is why that's why I think so many people were so excited about that deal in part as well. By the way, we updated the Jet offensive graphic here because I told Sean, my graphic guy, who's done a great job of these all weekend. Let's get AD Mitchell added, and let's get friend of the show, Joe Tipman, added to the Jets offensive graphic here. We got real players on this team now. Can Geno Smith give us the Ryan Fitzpatrick season? We got real players here. There's no doubt. Hennessy says, love sticking it to Buffalo. They traded in front of us multiple times last year. Correct. They did. So that was nice. They had a good draft, man. It'd be tough to find a team that didn't think, or it'd be tough to find someone who's going to sit here and tell you with a straight face the Jets didn't have a good draft. We can debate how good it is, but again, they added, with their first 4 picks, I think 4 starters. And 3 of them could be high-impact starters immediately. So that's encouraging. All right, last chance to get in here. I'm counting all the raffle names. We're going to raffle away a signed Wayne Corbett jersey. I'm holding it in my hand right now. Big thank you to everyone who's tuned in. We still, I mean, this fan base is amazing. On a Sunday, we still have 538 people watching live, thousands after the fact. Love it. Love what we got in this fan base, man. One day we will be rewarded for our loyalty. All right. Counting raffle names. Get your entries in like Colin just did. He is in the Asmaniac raffle for 1. Let's go.
Are you a happy guy?
Oh my goodness, let's go!
Oh, I'm a happy guy. Colin, your gifted membership went to listener Liberty for you, Sal. Congratulations to Colin on enjoying the raffle for 2. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to play this, and then we're going to get set for a raffle for a signed Wayne Corbett jersey. Yeah, buddy.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah, let's go. Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. It is time to bring on the master of raffle ceremony as we will get set to spin the wheel of champions for a signed Wayne Corbett jersey.
Right.
Beast.
Had to go drain. Can everyone drain the lizard for a minute? All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Sunday, and you know what that means? It's Todd Pettingill in the house wearing the number 80 jersey. Now, we ain't got much time today because it's Sunday and we all want to go out and enjoy. Bring me my wheel. We're going to get some winners today because the Wayne Corbett signed jersey is ready to go. Are all our names ready? Yes. Are we ready? Let's spin that wheel and get a winner.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. Fitting that Beast is wearing a Wayne Corbett jersey. So we're about to raffle away a signed Wayne Corbett jersey. If you win, you have to email me your name and address to asmanjake@gmail.com to be eligible to get your prize. I need to know where I'm sending it. Good luck to everyone. Everyone who entered today is in our weekly raffle tomorrow. Will be during my second stream. And we will have ourselves 5 prizes to raffle away then. Good luck to everyone. One spin to determine a winner. And the winner is... Cash Money Mike. Let's go, Mike. He is the winner of a Wayne Corbett signed jersey.
Are you a happy guy?
Oh my goodness, let's go!
Yeah, baby. Let's go. Hit the jet chant for Cash Money Mike. Mike, congratulations. Big thank you to everyone who entered today. Big thank you to everyone who tuned in all weekend long. Please subscribe if you haven't. I see we still have so many people that have been new viewers discovering the show over the weekend, which is what Draft Weekend's all about. If you're new around here, we talk Jets at 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday, typically 4 hours a day of Jet content. I do a weekend show every Saturday, typically. And during the season, we are live for 3 hours immediately after every Jet game. You can find the show on Apple or Spotify. And if you want more content and if you want to join our ever-growing community, you're going to want to join the Patreon. Go to patreon.com/Jake Asman Show, or just click the link in the description. Once you get access to my Patreon, you can join the Discord, which is a private group chat for all Asmaniacs. Your name added to the intro, which we update at the beginning of every month. You'll find out about exclusive events. You get a discount of 25% off all items in the merch store all year. So check it out. Plus, our merch store is jakeasman.com/shop. All right, that does it for me, but I'm going to leave you guys with something that I think kind of needs to be played. All right. It is a song that is, I mean, do I say it's sweeping the nation? Is that fair to say? I mean, this was put together by Purple Belt Mike. So, I mean, high praise from PBM. PBM is now supporting Gorman's campaign to defeat Gary in Asmaniac Madness. So I present to you for the first time on this very show, the debut of the song, Gormani the Great. Enjoy. Go Jets.
Yeah.
Step back.
Clear the gate. All rise for Gormani the Great. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Step back, clear the gate.
Crown on his head, got the fire in his eyes. Walks through the storm, never fear, never hides. Velvet and gold, but he fights like steel. Every single punch got a kingdom behind the wheel. Gary talk loud, yeah, he running his mouth. But hate don't win when the truth comes out. Swinging in 3D, but his vision's flat. Gorman, he steps in, now remember that. Power in the stance, justice in the swing. You can't knock down a king. Gormani the Great. Stand tall, don't break. Every hit lands like an earthquake shake. Fight for respect, fight for what's right. Shut down hate in the middle of the fight. Gormani the Great. Hit the crowd erupt. When the crown stays on, you don't give it up. Give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up.
Gary don't shade, but his weakness wrong. Gormani answers with a thunderous song. Respect all queens, yeah, that's the code. While Gary's crashing down his own dark road. Left
crown still shining bright.
Gormani wins the fight.
It's up to you, New York, New York.
Are you a happy guy?
Oh my goodness, let's go!
Oh, hi. Jake wants me to ask you to click on the like button.
That's right, Lane. And if they don't subscribe to the Jake Asman Show, this team may never win another game. Let's go, Jets!